Their names are all familiar, on the tip of every tongue. Every honor for the taking, they've won. But hunger drives the hunters, whose names are not well known, who long to make the honors their own. Good evening, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel. Welcome to CBS Sports' continuing coverage of the NCAA tournament. Whether you favor a David battling against overwhelming odds, or if a Goliath confidently striding into battle is more to your taste, we have plenty of both tonight as we complete the Elite Eight and move further along the road to the Final Four. We begin in East Rutherford, New Jersey, with the East Regional semifinal between the 12th seed Southwest Missouri State Bears and the top seed Duke Blue Devils, tipping at 7:38 Eastern Time. The Bears certainly have bared down on the D, holding opponents to an average 42 points in their first two games, but the Blue Devils won both their games by 41. At 7:55, the first Midwest Regional semifinal gets underway with another double-digit seed, the Cinderella Sooners of Oklahoma battling the top-seeded Michigan State Spartans. And then the second game from New Jersey has the 10th-seeded Purdue Boilermakers taking on the Temple Owls, seeded 6th in the East. Tip there is about 9:55. While in the Midwest, Wally Zerbiak and the 10th-seeded Miami University Redhawks challenge the defending national champion Kentucky Wildcats, seeded 3rd. I am joined, as always, by Clark Kellogg. First up is Duke, Southwest Missouri State. How do the Bears get it done against the best team in the country?
Well, Duke has clearly been devastating in how they've played all season long. For Southwest Missouri State to have a chance, they have to execute almost to perfection. And more importantly, they've got to have the mindset to be aggressive for 40 minutes and not be an all Duke's splendid team.
Okay, you ready to go?
I'm always ready to go.
Coming up, the East Regional semifinal between 12th seed Southwest Missouri State and top seed Duke. Vern Lundquist and Al McGuire are courtside in East Rutherford. Those expecting Oklahoma against Michigan State in the Midwest, we will get you to that tip at 7:55. Who will have a date in the Elite Eight? David or Goliath? We'll know soon enough. Enjoy the games here on CBS after this word from your local station.
Your Volvo Lucky Seat Cyber Ticket is waiting for you. Go to cbs.sportsline.com or America Online, enter keyword CBS Sportsline.
Thanks for making CBS America's most watched network. Welcome home.
This portion of NCAA basketball is brought to you by your local Ford store.
It's time to get out and play. Now get $1,000 cash back or 0.9% APR financing on Ford Ranger or 4.9% APR on F-Series. Improve your outside game in a tough Ford truck.
For 0.9 financing or $1,000 cash back on Ranger, visit your local Ford store today.
During normal business hours. Bye-bye.
Give your customers the help they need whenever they need it with a self-service website by IBM.
Green. The all-new Volkswagen Golf. It's smarter looking, at least.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by the new Chevy Silverado. Budweiser, Microsoft, and by First Union.
I'm going to raise you.
Fold. Too rich for me.
I fold. Call.
A couple of things to remember. One, a full house always beats 3 of a kind. And 2, the new Chevy Silverado has the most powerful V8 of any pickup. Chevy Silverado. It's the truck.
Shut up.
Friday night stop on the road to the Final Four makes a stop just across the Hudson from Midtown Manhattan. East Regional Semifinals tonight. And we come to you from Continental Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The 12th-seeded Southwest Missouri State Bears taking on the top-ranked Blue Devils of Duke. Good evening, everybody. Vern Lundquist along with the coach, Al McGuire. We welcome you to East Rutherford. These two teams have arrived by different paths. The Duke Blue Devils blew through their first and second round opponents. They defeated Florida A&M by 41 in the first game, Tulsa by 41 in the second. No surprise, they have been averaging 98 points per game and shooting the ball quite well. Southwest Missouri State knocked off Wisconsin of the Big Ten in the first round, and then Tennessee of the SEC in the second. They have been playing great defense, Coach. What do they have to do tonight?
To win tonight, now listen up out there. To win tonight, number one, the refs have to blow a high school whistle, a quick whistle. They can't let the games get physical. Number two, they got to play William Adrian without the ball, even if they have to double team him. And number three, they got to force Duke to score first from outside by double down on Brand down low. But most of all, what they got to do is pray.
Okay, I got the picture. Let's check the lineups. First of all, on the left, Southwest Missouri State, Danny Moore in the center had 2 big games in games 1 and 2, and the familiar 5, Carrawell, Battier, Brand, William Avery, and Trajan Langdon back from a 3-game absence and a foot injury. And of course, he did play in game 2 the other night. Steve Alford in his 4th season as the head coach at Southwest Missouri State. And Mike Krzyzewski, now 52 years of age, completing his 19th season as the enormously successful head coach at Duke. 7 Final Four appearances, 2 national titles, 1991 and 1992. The officiating crew tonight, Ted Hillary, Tom Lopes, and Tom Eads. And this place has been most hospitable to the Duke Blue Devils. 4 times they have come out of the East region and gone into the Final Four. Undefeated under Krzyzewski in the East, 22-0. There's Danny Moore. Got a little cut on his nose in practice earlier this week.
One of the big things you got to remember now, Steve Alford got to call timeouts anytime Duke starts to get a run. They blow you out 16-1 or 14-2.
Brandon Moore will jump off. And the tip goes into the hands of Battier for Duke. Right side, Trajan Langdon. Quickly off the glass and in.
There's the constant pressure up court. It's broken.
Now Kevin Holtz gets the ball from Danny Moore, drives hard, puts it up and in.
Used his body as part of his defense. Pressure up court, surprisingly. Almost a turnover that time by Fauntleroy.
William Fauntleroy went for the ball. Carrawell will inbound. A 2-2 tie in the opening 23 seconds. Now William Avery, guarded by Fauntleroy. Looks inside for Brandt. Double down from Alt. Leaves Carrawell open. Takes the jumper. Cans it.
Don't get upset with it. They got to double down on Brandt.
Now the pressure applied again by the Blue Devils. Here comes Ken Stringer. There's the trap. Tip. Bruton tries to control it. Danny Moore gets it back in the score.
That's one of the quick whistles I was talking about. Normally they didn't call them that quickly. That was what we call a high school whistle.
Steve Alford looks on. Foul is on Avery, his first. Duke up 4-2. Ball inbounded into the hands of Fauntleroy. Avery out to extend the defense on him. Ball's on the floor. Now Ken Stringer spin move at the free throw line. Nice bounce pass. And there's the pass to Bruton, but they're going to wave it off. Offensive foul.
Conroy, they're going to call for charging at that time. He did get rid of the ball in time, but it was a foul. Here he gets baseline. He has an opening. He charges right into the ever-ready Battier, who that must be about his 33rd taking charge this year.
Actually up at 1, and you got it right. 34.
34.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you take a high school All-American and a McDonald All-American and say, okay, you take charges?
Back he comes to Avery. Long jumper. And that's a rare miss for him in the NCAA from long range. He's been 7 of 8. Here's Fauntleroy. He's very, very quick.
They're going right at them. They're not changing the system that they got here with.
Here's Langdon to Avery underneath Carroll. The pass to Brand as Moore came over.
You got to know where Brand is at all time. He's the one that starts their runs.
Add the pressure. They get it across to Kevin Alt. See if they go to the half-court set. They will. Now Stringer, Fauntleroy, number 12. Alt for 3. Not there. Rebound Avery.
You can't give off that shot. He's missed the basketball from Indiana. He's a senior now.
Battier way outside. Danny Moore for the Bears of Southwest Missouri State. At the other end, here's Bruton. Kicks it back outside. Danny Moore, Brand is there.
I thought maybe SMS might slow down a little, but they're speeding up.
Danny Moore misses the turnaround jumper. They rebound into the hands of Duke. 6-4 Blue Devils.
The Bears cannot keep up this pace. It's too quick. Their bench will hurt them.
Underneath, Brand, 8-4.
So I said earlier, you got to double down on Brand. Let them shoot the outside shot.
The pressure again. Langdon down on the floor. Watch Elton Brand, coach.
Well, he works inside. Once he gets this position where he gets you caught on his rear end, it's tap city. It's all she wrote.
Brand with a quick start, 2 of 2. The sophomore out of Peekskill, New York. 8-4 Duke leads. Alt. Now Danny Moore. There's the double. Battier, the rejection by Brand. On the line. Nope. Out of bounds. Touch last by the Bears.
Hairline call there, but the ref was right on top of it. Yeah, coach a little bit upset with it. I think he deserves a little tongue lashing.
Second turnover. Southwest Missouri State. Carroll. That's the first Duke turnover. Kevin Alt, as Al said, Mr. Basketball, Warsaw, Indiana. There's the entry pass to Moore. He's having trouble hanging on to the ball because Shane Battier is all over him. A little too much.
They doubled down that time, and Shane Battier, too much hands.
Second team foul on Duke, Danny Moore. And here's Fauntleroy to inbound it.
Got to get the ball into Fauntleroy's hands because he's the only true slasher for SMS.
He's got it now. They look to Bruton. He takes the jumper. Doesn't score much. Doesn't that time. Taken away by Alt. Takes the 3. No. Well, they need his outside shot.
Well, he had 2 good looks. They want to get into Brand now if they can.
Battier, Langdon. Here's Carroll in the low post. Over Alt, short. Brand is 3 for 3.
Got to keep a body on Brand or they'll blow him out early here.
Up 6 is Duke.
If the kid can penetrate.
Now there's a double on Moore with Battier, and he throws it away. That's 3 turnovers.
Off the glass down low. Once Brand gets inside position, there's the missed shot. Up he goes and clutches it.
Hey, man, she's here. Check it out. That's them. There they are. Which one? You like this one? How about this little guy? Huh? Yeah. Good choice.
potato, 2 potatoes, 3 potatoes, 4, 5 potatoes, 6 potatoes, 7 potato balls.
Chevy Venture now has available seating for 8. Perfect for when you're expecting the unexpected.
5 potatoes, 6 potatoes, 7 potato balls. Rub those.
Now choose 0% financing or $1,000 cash back on a Chevy Venture. See your dealer today. Chevy Venture. Let's go.
I'll be there in a sec.
UPS makes more on-time morning deliveries than anyone. Call 1-800-PICK-UPS.
Head & Shoulders makes me worry less. I used to kind of be self-conscious about playing with my hair because if I was wearing black, then I would end up with flakes on my shoulders. Black's my favorite color to wear, so it could be a beauty secret. Head & Shoulders changes dandruff problems into beautiful hair.
When Kelly Hu walks the beat, crime fighting is a beautiful thing. All new martial law, CBS Saturday.
Top-seeded Duke up by 6, 4:05 into the game, and we check in with Armin Katayan.
Thanks, Vern. You know, Southwest Missouri State is on the verge of doing something that Sam Alford, Steve's father, and the assistant coach said we just can't do in the first 5 minutes, which is get blown out. Go out down by 10 in the first 5 minutes. On the other hand, Chris Carrawell of Duke said, we're going to try to break this team's spirit right from the start. Back to you.
Tempo thus far, Coach, favoring Duke.
Favoring Duke and wear them out, but Alt had 2 open shots. Normally at least buried one of them.
There's the penetration from Carrawell underneath. Miss it. Ball on the floor, and it's picked up by Alt. Now Fauntleroy wants to run. Goes to Moore, he wasn't ready for it. Stringer tries to save it. And it goes to Carrawell of Duke. 1-on-3, see if he goes all the way. Rejected. That was goaltending. Stringer. Fauntleroy takes the 3. They're 0 for 3, Alt with the rebound.
Alt had 14 rebounds against Wisconsin.
They can't get it to fall. Came out of the break 2 of 6, and they missed 3 on that run up and down the court. 10-4 as we near the 5-minute mark. Corey Maggette getting ready to come on, as is Nate James for Mike Krzyzewski's Blue Devils. Battier knocked out of bounds by Alt. Now 3 men coming on. Chris Burgess joins Maggette and James, and Carrawell, Avery, and Brand will rest for Duke.
Here's the difference between Duke and the rest of the teams in Division I. When they go to the bench, they go to the bench with strength. They just moved in 3 McDonald All-Americans, where Steve Alford just moved in Phillips, who's an outside shooter and scorer.
Well, they've got 4 McDonald's All-Americans on the bench. The argument could be made, I guess, that Duke's bench team could be seeded in this tournament.
Seeded high?
Yes. Langdon into the corner. Nate James, redshirt sophomore.
Nice athletic move.
And the lead is 8.
Need a basket right now.
This is an 8-0 run for the Blue Devils. Kevin Alt.
He plays such tough defense, they create turnovers.
That's Langdon on Alt. Now Maggette on Phillips. They can't find the open shot this time down.
8 in the shot clock.
Burgess defending Moore. Triple team, and a foul is called. Go back and take a look at the Nate.
So Duke with a 12-4 lead right now over Southwest Missouri State. We'll keep you advised as to what's happening in East Rutherford, New Jersey. But those of you awaiting the tip of 13th seed Oklahoma against top seed Michigan State in the Midwest, it's about time for your game to begin. Trans World Dome in St. Louis. We'll send you there to join Jim Nance and Billy Packer right after this.
100 years of war divided a nation and brought a mighty people to their knees, until the daughter of a peasant ignited the fires of hope and led the fight for freedom. The television event of the year, Joan of Arc, a world premiere this May on CBS.
CBS Saturday. She's not just another pretty face. She's as tough as nails, no holds barred, crime-fighting machine. Kelly. When this cop walks the beat, law enforcement is a beautiful thing. Martial law, CBS Saturday.
All right, we are up indeed here in St. Louis. Oklahoma and Michigan State about to get started in the regional round of 16 here in St. Louis. So welcome, everyone, Michigan State and Oklahoma. And later tonight, Kentucky against Miami. Can the magic continue for the Red Hawks? They've already beaten last year's finalist Utah to get to this point. And can they now take care of the defending national champions? Jim Nance, Billy Packer alongside. First up, though, we've got Michigan State, the #1 seed, taking on Oklahoma. What about this matchup, Billy?
Well, Jim, a real contrast in styles here. Michigan State solid, tough defense, plays against the three extremely well, but they're going to face one of the top shooting three-point teams in the tournament who's very hot, and that's going to be the game tonight. Can they stop the three-point shooting of Oklahoma?
All right, Mateen Cleaves, he comes through in the clutch so many times. He did against Ole Miss in the second round. What about him, Billy?
One of the most difficult guys to guard in the country, even though he's not a great shooter. Tremendous ball handler, great passer, and a terrific penetrator.
All right, he's from Chihuahua, Mexico. My Spanish isn't that good, but it's Najera en Grande in your local paper, and he is the talk around this Oklahoma Sooner team.
Young man, leading rebounder in the NCAA tournament so far. 20 and 15 against UNC Charlotte the other day. Terrific competitor. He is the leader of this basketball team.
All right, and these two coaches, Billy, it's interesting. They have a tie in the past. They both were former assistants for Judd Heathcote, and now their thoughts about the matchup.
I really think it's going to be defending the three-point shot. For a team that's averaged, I think, 25 or 26 threes the last couple of weeks, I think defending the three-point shot and consequently getting long rebounds, if we're successful in defending it, will be a big key to the game.
Michigan State is the best second, third, fourth shot team that we've seen. Their physicalness, their blacksmith mentality inside, it's almost like when they shoot and miss is when they come alive.
There's Kelvin Sampson, his 5th year at Oklahoma. 5 straight years taking the team to the tournament. His first tournament wins coming this year. Najera and Humphrey in the front court for the Sooners. Backcourt of Johnson and Eric Martin, who's ablaze from three-point land in the tournament, and Alex Spalding giving them a boost also with some scoring in the first 2 rounds. Tom Izzo, 4th year. He was the National Coach of the Year last season as he directed the Spartans to the Sweet 16. Klein, Hudson, and the rebounder, Antonio Smith, in a very dominating front court. In the backcourt, Mateen Cleaves, along with Charlie Bell, who will be back in the starting lineup, even with a tender ankle that kept him out of the starting lineup against Ole Miss. All right, let's talk about the report card going in here, Billy. Look at this as far as tournament conference breakdowns, and the Big Ten has 3 teams left.
SEC still doing an okay job despite the fact that Auburn's out. They've got Kentucky holding down the fort tonight. Big East with St. John's, a terrific winner last night. In Connecticut, they look extremely strong.
Yeah, not only teams left, but teams that have already advanced to the Elite 8.
Jim, I think it's really interesting. You think about what this Michigan State team could have done to Oklahoma. The Northwestern game, Cleaves hit the shot. Michigan State doesn't win. Would it be possible? And Kelvin Sampson really takes exception to this. Say, you know, Michigan State really the team that put you into this tournament. It's not fair to knock them out. He says, hey, no, we're a good basketball team. We can hold our own against anybody. We won on the road this year. We're ready to play the best. So he's not looking at his seed as being something that's a downgrading situation at all.
But they were offended. They thought they were looking,
very offended.
Yeah, they thought they were looking at more like even a 7 seed. I mean, here's Oklahoma State, which got into an 8-9 game in the first round, a team they had swept twice. And they also, by the way, the Sooners beat Arkansas this year by 30 points. So a 22-10 record, and they've advanced to the Sweet 16 with wins over Arizona and also UNC Charlotte.
And I would have to say, Jim, considering everything, the way UNC Charlotte was playing and the way Arizona was playing, they may be 2 of the best back-to-back wins that any team had in the first week.
Michigan State, how will they play tonight? Will they play hard and loose or loose and tight? That's a concern many people have. The Flint connection, 4 prominent players in their top 6 hail from the city of Flint, Michigan. And Michigan State with a 31-4 record. Ranked number 2 in the country, but the #1 seed here in the Midwest.
Jim, I don't think this team, the way they play, will be tight. I think the bigger key is how will Oklahoma shoot? If Oklahoma comes out blazing a 3, it really opens up the court. And these are some hard rims. Watching them shoot yesterday, and I realized there's a test for all rims, but these rims seem to be a lot harder than we saw as an example in New Orleans. So there are going to be some long rebounds here.
All right, after one aborted tip-off here at the TWA Dome, it's Oklahoma with the first possession. 13 seed has only made it to the Sweet 16 3 times now. No one's ever made it to the Elite 8 as a 13.
And there's a matchup we saw right away. Antonio Smith guarding Nahara, who can take him outside, which will be very effective for Oklahoma, keeping him away from the boards. Nice switch.
Into Hudson. Fade away for 2.
Jim Hudson's been putting more points on the board in not only in the Big Ten tournament. He had 11 against Illinois, and then he came back with 11 against Mount St. Mary's and 13 against Mississippi. So he's starting to look to score more.
Yeah, his offensive output was increasing in late February, and he's carried it right into the postseason. Here's Nahara. Outside jumper for 3, Spalding. Struggled all season long from the field, but has excelled in the tournament. Look at Humphrey working for the basket.
Great move by Humphrey on the inside. Young man who was an All-American player in high school in 2 sports. And they go back into the zone. They played man-to-man first run out. Now they've changed back to a 1-2-2 zone. Martin up on the top. Now this means Klein has got to become an important factor in the game, Jim. A young man who's been struggling with his shooting against the zone, he's got to open up.
Humphrey really worked on Hudson, backed them in.
Great drop step down on the inside and 2 excellent fakes without moving that pivot foot.
Only 9 seconds on the shot clock here for the Spartans. And that's against Cleves.
Good movement with the footwork by Johnson. Cleves normally can turn that shoulder, gets so low to the ground on his dribble, he's very difficult to handle unless you're really moving those feet.
The last Big 12 team alive in the tournament, the Oklahoma Sooners. And presumably the last team to make it into the field of 64.
Klein got a piece of that ball on the way up.
Hudson again will kick it out. Cleves fakes. And a push off this time going the other way against Johnson.
I think Johnson made a mistake on that play defensively, Jim. When the ball throws out to Cleves, he's not looking to take his jumper. He'll pump fake and put the ball on the floor. Johnson should have just let him have the room. If he wants to take the jump shot early in the game, that would surprise you.
Cleves misfiring his first shot.
Let him take the jumper early. Spalding has got too much quickness for Klein.
Drives. Nice shot off the glass for Spalding, who has stepped it up here in the last 2 games.
Against Arizona, he came up with 10. He had 12 points, 6 assists, and 8 rebounds against UNC Charlotte. So the young man is starting to get very aggressive offensively.
Bell from the corner. That's a 3.
And that'll extend that defense. We can look for Peterson. Be coming in off of that bench, probably for Klein to create some offense against the zone as well. See, there's some tough matchups here for Michigan State in this game. And there's one of them right there. Nahara should step out for his jumper. There
it is. Cleves wants to run with it, but no one ahead. So waits. They reset.
Zone is kind of messed up right now.
Into Smith, doubled up.
They're matching up in this zone, and they really don't have their matchup set.
Here's their outside shooter, Klein.
I think he's a big key in this game, Jim. He has got to put some points on the board against Oklahoma.
Shooting only 29% the last 7 games. Spalding tied up, and the arrow belongs to the Spartans. Rinzai Stone comes in for the Sooners.
Jim, Spalding's really an interesting story. Young man not even in their brochure because he dropped out of school in October, figured he's not going to be involved with the program, then came back. to school when Kelly Newton was injured, and obviously has done a fine job now that he's got the playing time.
A.J. Granger and Morris Peterson now at the ball. The leading scorer, 2 subs in for the Spartans.
Granger brings some offense too, Jim. He's been playing really well in postseason.
Cleaves. Stone fighting for it. Foul against the Spartans, against Peterson. So a good battle here at the first whistle. Michigan State and Oklahoma in St. Louis.
Meet Chris Worth, animator. Knows good, knows evil. Knows that having a formidable partner is definitely good. Chevy S10, like a rock.
Financial goals require solutions. Dreams deserve dedication. Success demands performance. If there's something you want to achieve, the principal has one word of advice. Plan ahead, get ahead. The Principal Financial Group.
This is Maxwell Middle School. It sits next to the desert on the outskirts of town in Tucson, Arizona. The kids who go here are not well-to-do. They come from hardworking families. What's unusual about this school is that teachers have tried for years to get a job here. Why? Because Maxwell Middle School is using technology in a whole new way. 400 computers networked together for 600 kids means every classroom and every class and every child is using technology. And you know what? It's interesting. Kids who didn't like learning are suddenly liking it. And teachers who've been looking for a way to reach kids are succeeding. Technology is a tool. Software is a tool. When you give kids tools, you give them choices. And that's the best reason we can imagine to make software.
The man who knows the future.
My obituary's in the paper.
Has 24 hours to save his own life.
Promise me you're not going to go there.
Early edition, PBS Saturday.
Jim Nance and Billy Packer, and joined once again this week by Bonnie Bernstein. Bonnie, take it away.
Jim, you might remember back in the first round, Charlie Bell, Michigan State starting 2 guard, sprained his ankle. He played just 14 minutes against Ole Miss, and Tom Izzo, Michigan State's coach, is telling me he's really worried about Charlie's ability to cut because he's such an athletic guard. Well, Bell skipped practice Monday and Tuesday, practice Wednesday and Thursday. Izzo told me just before the game he's about 99%. You'll see he's wearing an ankle brace on that left ankle, but that's something he wears most of the time, Jim, just for support.
All right, Bonnie, he's already knocked down a 3. Charlie Bell helping Michigan State to the early 1-point lead. Later tonight here, Kentucky and Miami. Johnson in the lane gives the Sooners the lead back.
One other thing, Jim, to be able to guard Cleaves. The other thing is to make him work on defense. He has his hands full with Johnson. You don't want that point guard that can relax down on the other end of the court.
Granger doubled up.
Held that ball too long.
Peterson, their leading scorer.
Good job by Peterson to move to the ball, but Granger had that ball much too long down the low post with nothing working for himself. I'm really surprised Nahara doesn't step outside, take Smith away from the basket. The more he stays down inside, allows Smith to do the things he does so well.
That's a block against Smith. He tried to step in, draw the charge. First one on Antonio. So Johnson had beaten him with a basket the previous trip. Now he draws a foul on the main inside player for Michigan State.
Johnson, an 81% free throw shooter, #2 free throw shooter in the Big 12 this year.
This is Oklahoma's first appearance in the Sweet 16 since 1989. They were a #1 seed that year. And then in 1990, Billy, you might remember this, Oklahoma was a 1 seed again, and it lost to North Carolina in the second round when Rick Fox hit the little bank shot inside.
Absolutely, he drove in, and that was going to end Dean Smith's streak of Sweet 16s, but Fox turned it around that particular day.
And Oklahoma did not have a tournament win after that loss to Carolina until this year. Here's Cleves. He got past Johnson. Smith misses the slam, but Granger's in the right spot.
No blocking out at all by Oklahoma on that play. Surprising to see Cleves miss that layup. Good penetration on his part.
Naharat has Granger on him now.
Much better matchup for Michigan State. Tom Izzo doing a good job there. Doesn't wear Smith out.
Humphrey over Smith. Comes up short.
And see where it keeps Smith 3 feet from the basket, where he's so good as a rebounder. Number 3 all-time rebounder for Michigan State now in their history.
Cleves took the quick shot back of the rim.
To me, that's a wasted possession for Michigan State when Cleves comes down and takes a quick shot.
Cleves is 0 for 3 from the field.
Well, Jim, remember the nightmares he had at the United Center in Chicago? And came back and still won the MVP award, playing a solid basketball, the 3 games in the Big Ten championship.
This is Tim Heskett, number 14, into the game for the Sooners. They have 6 seconds on the shot clock. Heskett gives them 10 points a game off the bench, and he shoots almost 50% from 3. So watch out for number 14 for the Sooners.
Well, he's not going to have a lot of an opportunity here. There's Naharat. Put it up.
3-pointer. Got it.
Boy, that's surprising. Smith, very experienced player, had to know who's going to take that shot. Wasn't out there on him. I think that's a mistake for him to be guarding Naharat. Granger, much better matchup.
Cleves in the lane, and he still hasn't made one from the field. That's 4 misses.
Did you see Naharat trying to block out Smith, but Smith is so much stronger. Naharat got hit in the head.
And he also got hit with the foul, his first.
Well, he's got the advantage if he steps outside on Smith, but not if he goes inside. Oh, Smith came over the top with the elbow, then set the wicked solid screen.
I think you feel that elbow when it comes
Absolutely.
to Antonio Smith. All right, now the sub in for the Spartans, Doug Davis.
And there goes that matchup, 1-2-2 zone, trapping this time.
Peterson jumper, and Johnson underneath for the rebound.
Boy, Peterson really comes to the ball well, finding holes in the seams.
Now on the drive, too strong, but Humphrey's there.
Jim, I saw Naharat play as a freshman. People talked about him being on that Mexican junior team and how good he was going to be, and he was an outstanding newcomer. We got a guy tying his shoe, but you know that doesn't. The referee doesn't stop the play for that. But he has really progressed in his total all-around game.
Thomas Kelly, the senior, number 3 in. Davis jumper. Davis in for Cleves, and this is going to be on Granger of Michigan State.
Here we see Humphrey, the second outstanding play. There was a great change off the pass by Naharat. Humphrey comes in there, an outstanding leaper. Good, powerful hands. He was a tight end, as I mentioned, in high school. He was considered one of the top tight end prospects in all the country. Brother a football player and father a football player as well.
His brother, a player for the Jacksonville Jags, talking about Fernando Smith. All right, Sooners get it inside into Humphrey again. He traveled first. Boy, somehow through traffic, he was able to go up and dunk it. I didn't see an opening.
Well, Martin lost the handle on the pass. What's happening on these entry passes by Oklahoma? They actually have too much distance. Their spacing's not right to throw the ball from outside to in the way Michigan State plays defense.
Duke leading by 6 in the first half. And there's Granger with a 3-pointer.
Jim Granger really coming alive. 15 and 5 rebounds against Mount St. Mary's, 9 and 3 against Mississippi. Really giving a tremendous boost off the bench.
A little 12-point average that amounts to in this NCAA tournament. Johnson got it open to Naharat. 3-pointer. Just wide open. Long rebound to Humphrey.
Humphrey looked like he got hurt. Knee, ankle, something. He's wincing a little bit out there. Tom Izzo really going to this bench deep and early in this ball game, knowing that Oklahoma's going to play 8 guys. Looks like he's taking a little Tubby Smith maneuver here and just trying to wear him down.
Naharat Gets Granger to commit.
Should have shot.
Yep, but back into the arms of Spalding. He loses it. This bench you talk about for Michigan State has been outscored only one time all year by the opposition's bench. So they're deep. And Davis drives. Hudson is fouled on the layup. Yep, that's the second on Nahara.
Silly foul on his part. What's happened? This Michigan State, a great rebounding basketball team. Almost 9.2 rebounds more per game than their opponents. Actually, 9.8.
Near the conclusion of this game, we'll be selecting the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the game from each team. To date, Chevrolet has contributed over $6.5 million to the scholarship funds of America's colleges and universities. So Hudson recruited to Michigan State not only by the basketball staff and Tom Izzo, but also by Nick Saban, football coach. They wanted him as a quarterback. Sophomore out of Trotwood, Ohio.
Pretty rangy quarterback, player of the year in basketball in Ohio, so obviously that shows his athletic prowess. I kidded the Kentucky people yesterday. I said, would Tim Couch be in that second five if he were playing the Kentucky team? And they said, he might be quick for a football quarterback. So he'd be a little slow as a basketball player.
So two misfires, and Humphrey smothers the rebound.
I guess the best combo quarterback basketball player is Charlie Ward.
Charlie Ward, yeah. And Cleves almost followed in his footsteps. There's Johnson short on the jumper. Oh, Smith was called for the hold on Stone. That's the second. So two players here, prominent players, with early fouls.
That was
Smith.
Jim, that was a very observant referee's call there. Smith did not need to hook him, but he certainly did.
Michigan State was 7 points off the bench, knotted at 12. There it is, a win for the ages.
How do you plan on paying unexpected medical bills? Conseco's supplemental health policies can help. Conseco, step up.
I know a place.
Americans love scenery. We can't get enough of it. We don't care how far it is. We want to see it all. Good thing there's Chevy Malibu, a car designed to take us anywhere and back. It'll actually go up to 100,000 miles before its first scheduled tune-up. That's a lot of vacations and a lot of souvenirs. So take the long way home. It's the car you knew America could build. Malibu, genuine Chevrolet.
Here I am at the University of Cincinnati, continuing to prove that everyone loves the taste of Pepsi One.
Ready? Open up. Open wide. Good. That's good. Drink it out of your glove. Drink it. Drink it. Drink it. Tell me what you think of the taste.
It's really refreshing.
Only 1 calorie, man. I'm serious. It's awesome, baby!
Pepsi One, a new secret formula. Makes it taste too good to be called diet.
It's a 1 calorie drink! Woo! Woo!
Stuck with a flat tire? Not with this tire. Even with no air pressure, you drive to safety. Aqua Steel Run Flat. Don't get stuck. Get there.
Introducing delivery confirmation for priority mail. Now, what's your priority?
What do you make of that rebounding advantage for the Oklahoma Sooners early, Billy?
Well, Jim, it kind of surprised me statistically, but I still think that one of the keys for Michigan State is to make sure that Smith, when he's in there, stays underneath the basket, not chasing Nahara. And so whoever they have to change the matchup with, that will be advantageous for Michigan State. This Oklahoma club is quick. I said there'll be a lot of long rebounds in this game, and that's been the case so far. So far, Eric Martin has not gotten untracked at all, though, for Oklahoma. That's surprising, but a low-scoring game right here, and Oklahoma is showing they belong. And Michigan State goes to a little match-up here. And of course, everybody remembers Michigan State, Judd Heathcote, matchup zone probably as well as anybody ever played it. 1979 took him to the national crown. Nobody cutting through. They got to get some cutters here to get this defense organized.
Spalding gets it back out to Johnson. He'll step in.
Nice.
5 on the shot clock. It bounces off the rim. Humphrey with his 6th rebound keeps it alive. And Martin, I thought, might fire up the 3. He's made 10 out of 17 in this NCAA tournament.
Well, what Kelvin Sampson's telling them, they got to get some movement against this matchup. There they go. Now they're getting some movement here. They can't just stand in the same places that the defenders are.
Spalding, nice move. They got right past Cleves.
You want movement against the zone. Make them work and move a little bit.
Block called on Rinzai Stone.
Well, that's a foul that Oklahoma can afford. But
Oklahoma foul on number 33, Rinzai Stone.
Here we see that drive. Notice the matchup zone. Klein doesn't do anything whatsoever protecting his territory. Good job by Spalding.
Spalding, a sophomore from Burlington, North Carolina, coming to life in this NCAA tournament. And often that's the case with teams. We get that one player just suddenly emerges.
Jim, we see Spalding trying to come off, run through the screen. Didn't get there in time.
And for Spalding, his first, the 5th team foul, 2 away from the 1-and-1.
You see both of these coaches down here. I mentioned Judd Heathcote. They both worked under Judd. So that's their basic coaching foundation.
Reset it because the ball was kicked. They'll reset the 35.
And they're both playing a little bit of a matchup zone here at this time.
Blind three-pointer.
Oh, that's an important shot for Michigan State.
Jason Klein gives the Spartans a 1-point lead. 9:20 to go first half.
He was just 1 for 5 against Mississippi. They need his perimeter shooting because Cleves is not a great perimeter shooter, and Peterson not in the ball game right now.
Humphrey. And Klein whistled for that one. That's the 6th team foul. Saturday on CBS, meet 2 private eyes who have learned from the best. Chuck Norris, from the producers of Walker, Texas Ranger, the next generation of justice. All new Sons of Thunder, Saturday on CBS. Ryan Humphrey at the line. Decorated high school performer out of Tulsa, where he was a teammate of Eton Thomas, now playing for Syracuse. Nahara coming back. Remember, he has 2 fouls. Stone will sit.
Jim Humphrey, just a 44% free throw shooter. Young man had iron deficiency anemia and prevented him from being able to have any stamina whatsoever as a basketball player. They've got that rectified now, so taking full advantage of his athletic abilities.
That one ties it at 15. And coming in for the first time for Oklahoma is Victor Avila. Stone out.
And what we're seeing right now is Kelvin Sampson trying to use a lot of people as well, realizing, hey, the object here is for him to have his team not fatigued and stay in this game for a half. Then he can go back to that 8-man rotation that he really likes.
Klein, he hit the last one. Nahara, good box out. Really, it is an Oklahoma team that goes 8 players.
They missed Humphrey, who was down the court. Jim, I noticed Klein, when he's shooting his jumper, his head is lifting, watching the flight of the ball, as opposed to concentrating on that rim. By putting your head back like that, it makes your back arch back, takes away some of your touch.
Look at the pass from Humphrey to Avila.
Hey, Humphrey's been all over it on the inside. Seems to be at the right place at the right time.
And we have our 7th lead change of the game.
And now a very dangerous situation. Nahara out on the top with Cleves. Cleves ought to recognize that guy's got 2 fouls on him. He should try to drive by Nahara and make him guard him right now.
There you go. Well,
he should have kept the ball alive there. He could put him in serious foul trouble.
Just one dribble and he backed it up. Yep. 5 seconds on the shot clock here for State. Cleves has to take the long one.
That's not his bag. And he really had Oklahoma in a bad situation here. Nahara playing the top of the zone. Kevin Sampson probably figuring he'd be out of trouble there.
And Mateen is now 0 for 6 from the field. Duke leads by 6. A minute to go first half. That's a turnover by the Sooners. So Cleves is struggling. And Oklahoma leads the #1 seed in the first half.
Incredible. The readings are off the charts.
This is how Dale Earnhardt Jr. fans will remember the 1998 NASCAR Busch Series champion. This is how his opponents will remember him.
Seeing nothing but the tail lights.
Get the parts that power Dale Earnhardt Jr. AC Delco. If you're not asking for it, you're asking for it.
So, how's the broker biz?
Hey, my client made $2,000 on the market, and he owed it all to me.
What, did you give him some good advice?
I meant he owed it to me. In commissions.
Who's looking out for your investments? E-Trade, the #1 rated place to invest online. Get free real-time quotes, 10 times more research, IPOs, all from $14.95. Isn't it time you looked out for #1? Call 1-800-E-TRADE-1 and see why someday we'll all invest this way.
That last egg's looking real good. If you have a High Life Light, maybe you will have room for just one more. See there? When you live the high life, you can live it both ways.
Mom's calling Enterprise Rent-A-Car because our car is sick.
Enterprise will arrange to pick you up,
Wow!
drive you to our place, and get you on your way.
Everybody loves to be picked up.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
4 dedicated doctors.
We have multiple injuries, 2 children and 3 adults.
1 sick city.
I want Viagra.
An all-new LA Doctors. CBS Monday.
In this tournament, as we summarize, you see the #10 Gonzaga advances to Elite 8. We've got 2 10s on the docket tonight. Later, Miami against Kentucky here, and also Purdue in the East taking on Temple. The 10 seeds in this tournament have the second best record of any seed, only bettered by the #1 seeds record right now. They're 9-1, and the 10 seeds are 8-1.
Jim, they all won in that first round. All the 10 seeds won. All the 9 seeds won in the first round. But, you know, in fairness to the tournament committee, we knew that after you had the first, let's say the first 2 seeds done, and some of those were questionable, that everybody then could be kind of thrown in a hat, and that's the way it turned out.
Here, Oklahoma out-rebounding Michigan State 14-6 early, and they have the 2-point lead. A 13 against a 1 here in St. Louis.
Jim, what kind of counters that for Michigan State is the fact that Oklahoma has not gotten on that 3-point chair yet, particularly Martin hasn't done anything offensively.
Peterson, his second basket of the game. All Big Ten player who doesn't start but gets starters minutes.
Boy, but he has one of the best floating jumpers in that 16-foot range as he glides to the basket that there is in college basketball. Nahara now being guarded on the outside by Cleves. A little bit of a mismatch there. And here's the guy going to put the ball on the floor, try to go ahead and take Peterson, and does.
5 on the shot clock.
A lot of mismatches in this game so far.
Avila stuck underneath, and Michigan State strips it away. Cleves. Granger on the follow.
Rangers playing so well, and that was a dangerous play there. Cleves putting the ball on the floor. Nahara going for the block.
Rangers giving them 7 points off the bench.
Michigan State caught in some switches, and then they get some bad mismatches, but so far Oklahoma not taking advantage of it.
Spalding baseline underneath, rejected. They say Bell got a piece of the hand. For complete tournament coverage, live scores, stats, and more, check out Tournament Live only at cbs.sportsline.com or on America Online. Enter keyword CBS Sports Live.
Jim Spalding really has an excellent first step off that dribble. He is blown by everybody who's been matched up with him, and Bell is one of the more gifted one-on-one defenders in the Big Ten, but Spalding just went right by him. I don't think that ankle is the answer, is the excuse either.
This young man was 50% from the line during the regular season, but his shooting performance has just come out of nowhere, it seems, here come NCAA time. And during the season, Billy, 38% from the field, 29% from three for Spalding, and 51% free throw shooter.
Yeah, and that's just a complete reversal of where he was in the past. He was 23 of 25 a year ago. I mean, how can a guy be a great free throw shooter and then become relatively a very poor one? Matter of fact, this Oklahoma team only shooting 65% as a team, 10th in the Big 12 in terms of free throw shooting. Back to man-to-man.
Smith over to Klein, open baseliner. Air ball. Wow, where did that come from? He's too pure a shooter to put one up like that.
The man who got that rebound, Martin, is going to have to start doing something offensively. He has just totally disappeared in this game.
Nahara almost reached in for his third. Bounce pass from Cleaves, lost, but kept alive. So Klein doing a nice job to save that possession. Peterson in and out.
I don't think that Michigan State's aware at all the difficulty they could put Oklahoma in by getting Nahara into more foul trouble. You know, you got a guy that's that important to the team that they're not even making guard somebody. And he's guarding Klein now. But you have got to take advantage of those kind of situations early in a ball game.
Klein off balance. Tipped out by Smith. Johnson saves it in the corner. Peterson keeps it alive. Look at those two saves.
He just out-hustled Martin.
Backcourt violation.
Oh, I don't know about that one. Did they have possession?
Yeah, Peterson did as he's going to the bench or to the table. I didn't think about that at first, but that was Peterson who had touched it last.
Well, it was a good job by Smith to shock the ball out of what was an Oklahoma rebound, so Oklahoma gets it back anyway. Tom Izzo has got to be concerned about the fact that his team is not dominating the boards. Here's Spalding again, blowing 5 people.
Martin, jumper. Peterson rebounds. Here in St. Louis, the 1 seed is in trouble. Michigan State in a fight with Oklahoma, presumably the last team to make the field of 64. We've had so far 8 lead changes and 5 ties. And Mateen Cleaves, the Michigan State star, is 0 for 7 from the field.
And what's happening, Jim, is that Oklahoma, they haven't gotten any fast breaks. The reason for that, they're sending 5 men to the boards to rebound to try to offset what Michigan State normally does with their good blocking out.
Later tonight, Kentucky against Miami University here at the Trans World Dome. Michigan State has been out-rebounded decisively in this game by the Sooners. A Michigan State team that had a 10 rebound per game advantage on the season.
Now they're back into the zone.
Kelly, the senior, and it's Martin pulling it away for the Sooners, who look to regain the lead.
Nice job by Humphrey that time.
Michigan State's been shut down to 32% from the field in this one.
Well, look at Spalding working really hard to get that ball.
Eduardo Nahara, the star player for the Sooners, held to 3 points. But now Michael Johnson has given us our 9th lead change. The Sooners by 2.
Here comes Cleaves. Nobody guarding him. Can you imagine that? Here's the man with the ball. Nobody on him.
Cleaves now 0 for 8 from the floor.
I said early in this one, Jim, you let him shoot early if you're the opposing team till he proves he can hit something.
Nahara, big call. They called it a block. That could have been the 3rd on Nahara. Instead, it'll be the 3rd on Smith.
Granger has to come back in, but you know, Michigan State in better shape with Smith having 3 than Oklahoma would be with Nahara having 3.
Antonio Smith, their top rebounder, now saddled with his 3rd foul, and he'll go to the bench. The rebounding numbers have actually tightened. Oklahoma at one time had a 9 rebound advantage on the Spartans. And there you see it, 9 lead changes. And Nahara to the line for a 1-and-1.
Jim, this young man has been sensational so far in the NCAA tournament. Against Arizona, 17 points, 13 rebounds, 4 threes, 20 points, and 15 rebounds against North Carolina Charlotte. Just great all-around plays. Tough, hard-nosed. Can handle the ball well for a man his size. Outstanding player.
Hudson in for Peterson in the Spartan lineup. Nahara from Chihuahua, Mexico, a 6'8" junior who played actually his senior year of high school in San Antonio. Knocks them both down, and that'll give us a timeout. Oklahoma's largest lead. So the Sooners lead the #1 seed, 23-19. Sooners' largest lead of the game.
You spend your days, and probably more evenings than you'd care to admit, trying to align your company's strategies with process and technology, and managing risks to your global operations. At Arthur Andersen, we can help you make those kinds of decisions. And that just might free you up enough to take care of something that's really important. Arthur Andersen, helping in ways you never imagined.
Select road. Validating tires.
What kind of road can you drive on with B.F. Goodrich tires?
Approved. Enjoy.
Any road you choose. B.F. Goodrich tires. Take control.
What's wrong with Alex?
Alex, why so blue?
I wish I was blue. Everything here is so colorless. I need color to express myself.
Spoken like a true business professional.
I am? I mean, I did?
Sure you did. Every business needs color. Helps them communicate what they know.
So why can't we have some?
Because they need it more down there. See? Keep it in color, you make the point. It gets results.
But color is so hard to get, and it takes an eternity.
Not when you can get Xerox color on the desktop.
Or put it right in the hall.
You can even get it at 40 pages a minute.
Guess they really do need it. But couldn't I just wear this?
Maybe on casual Fridays.
Keep the conversation going. Share the knowledge. The Digital Document Company, Xerox.
Even though the jury said she wasn't guilty of murder, the Child Welfare Agency said she was. What's that all about? 60 Minutes, Sunday.
Mateen Cleaves, first team All-America, but tonight is just not his night. That could change. He's a survivor and a player who excels in that final 3 or 4 minutes with a game on the line, but 0 for 8 from the field.
Now, Jim, remember in the United Center, going in that Northwestern game, he had played in that arena and was 8 for 45 from the field, but still hit the winning shot to beat Northwestern to move them through into the second round of the Big Ten tournament. So he is a guy that likes to play when it's on the line, but as I said at the top of the show, you've got to make him prove he can hit a shot before you go out there and challenge that jumper of his.
He went on to become the Big Ten tournament most valuable player, 2-time conference player of the year. Actually shared it this year with Scooney Penn, who won the coach's vote.
That zone really backed in there now. Martin with his foot at the top of the key.
3 on the shot clock. Ranger, what a night. He is the man tonight for Michigan State. 10 points off the bench.
How positive he looks with his shooting. And he had to come through for him because that zone's starting to really back up with Cleaves not shooting well.
Open as Johnson steps in. No foul. Klein made the defensive play.
Klein had lost contact with Johnson, but because of his size, was able to come back.
Kelly from the corner. tipped out by the Spartans. Duke with a 9-point lead at halftime over Southwest Missouri State. And we'll be getting a look at that game at halftime on the Pennzoil at the half with Greg and Clark as Peterson returns for Michigan State. Live look in on that Southwest Missouri State Duke game coming up on Pennzoil at the half.
Jim, neither one of these teams that you can see press whatsoever, so you have an opportunity to play half court at a time. For Oklahoma, that should mean going inside and popping out for some jump shots.
Tom Izzo over there on the bench whispering a few things into an official's ear. Now he steps away.
He's got to be a little concerned the way this flow of this game is going. He's got his top rebounder on the bench with 3 fouls. Cleves is not shooting well. And Oklahoma hanging in there despite the fact they're not putting it up for 3.
Humphrey battles for it.
Did he call a time?
They got it.
Yeah,
they grant it.
He got a time, jumped up in the air, going out of bounds, and called the time.
Well, this is the 20-year anniversary of Michigan State's championship team. The 79 final played in Salt Lake City. The Spartans taking on unbeaten Indiana State in the final. Billy, you were there. Magic had 24 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists as Judd Heath coached. Spartans won the national championship.
Well, Jim, that was like the game of Hoosiers. Everybody talks about it was Bird against Johnson. And there you see Irvin Johnson right there, one of the great players of all time, not only at Michigan State, the state of Michigan, but in the history of basketball. And really, the guy that may take a lot of credit for the great turnaround that this Michigan State team had and Cleves had this year when he met with them before key ball games and said, hey, guys, you got to start having some fun out here.
It was the reunion game, a game against Michigan, and Irvin told Cleves, you just got to have more fun. He played best game of the season that night with Magic in attendance, had 25 points and 8 assists to lead them to victory. But it hasn't been a whole lot of fun for Cleves here in the first half. Team is down 1 with 1 minute to go in the first half.
Izzo wanted a 5-second call, didn't get it.
Martin Leaner and the rebound and a foul. Reaching in was Humphrey.
Jim, Martin, considering the score in this game, really hasn't gotten anything going at all. We're talking about the second leading scorer on this ball club. And he looks very tight in this ball game.
That was just the 6th team foul on the Sooners, so no 1-and-1.
Jim, I want to point something out about that 79 Michigan State team. That team was in a 3-way tie for the Big Ten, and at one point that year, they were 4-4 in the league with a chance of not even getting into the NCAA tournament. Timeout,
Michigan State. One of the 22nd variety. Yeah, they really did turn it around right in mid-season. They ended up with a 26-6 record.
And then went on a tour in the really a tear in the NCAA tournament.
Only 3 13 seeds have ever made it to this point. Richmond in '88, Valpo a year ago, and Oklahoma. None of them, none of the previous 2, neither made it to the Elite 8.
You know, Jim, when you talk about Richmond and we talk about these Cinderellas, I think when you do it once, that's a Cinderella. But when you do it 3 times like Dick Tarrant's club did, '84, they knocked off Auburn. Then they came back in '88 as a 13 seed, beat Indiana and Georgia Tech to advance to the Sweet 16. And they did it again in '91 as a 15 seed.
Inside Hudson scores. Yeah, it's hard to argue that the Richmond Spiders kind of defined that role of Cinderella. I remember the year they took out that all-SEC player down there at Auburn.
Charles Barkley. Dick Tarrant did a wonderful job. And here they're going to sit down, hold it. Kelvin Sampson happy at where he is right now, 24-23. Nobody in serious foul trouble and haven't worn out his starters.
Will we have one more lead change before the half?
I think you'd try to get Martin a shot. See what he can do. He's done nothing the first half.
It doesn't. For the 11th time, we've got a lead change. Cleves driving, shooting, scoring for the first time in the game.
A coast-to-coaster, and he can do that as well as anybody in college basketball.
That becomes the 12th lead change of this game.
Jim, in that kind of situation, you know what he can do. Is that a Danny Ainge type replay right there?
Yeah, that was, in fact, this is the anniversary night of the Ainge moment when BYU beat Notre Dame. That was 18 years ago today. But for Cleves, you saw our clock had malfunctioned. He beat the clock by about 1.5 seconds. Let's go over to Bonnie. Bonnie?
All right, Tom, you know when Michigan State comes to play, we usually expect them to crash the boards. How much of a concern with that is that Oklahoma's really hanging with you there?
Well, I think we're taking some bad shots on the perimeter. They've got inside position all day, and I think that's what's hurting us. So I think they're doing a good job cutting out, but I think we're doing a poor job in our shot selection, and we never have anybody in a position to board.
Mateen, until right before the buzzer, was held scoreless in the first half. How do you want him to adjust in the second half?
I don't care if he scores again, as long as he distributes the ball and does a little bit better job finding guys open and passing it to him. He can score, you know, at times, but he's a better passer and penetrator. We've got to get him into the lane.
Tom, thanks for the time. Jim?
That's the end of the first half with the score. Michigan State 26, Oklahoma 25. And CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship will continue after this message.
Genius? Yeah, right, if they only knew. Chaos. So many stores, so fast. Stores aren't connected. Nobody's connected. Inventory's a mess. My suppliers are totally in the dark. Help. The AT&T people said that they'd get everyone connected in real time. That'll fix it. Maybe going public isn't so crazy.
AT&T Net.working to make your business succeed.
In the financial world, to survive, you must keep on the move. It is not a world for the hesitant or the timid. Sometimes, to defend against larger, fiercer competitors, your best choice is merger or acquisition. But beware, lest your careful, well-planned strategy should result instead in failure or doom. In these troubled waters, experience, knowledge, and size are your best allies. If you're considering strengthening your company through merger or acquisition, think first of First Union. Wherever you plan to go, we have been there before. Come to the mountain called First Union. Or if you prefer, the mountain will come to you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel. Coming up on Pennzoil at the half, Clark and I will get you caught up on tournament news and look at Duke and Southwest Missouri State after this message and a word from your local station.
Just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you. You'd be like heaven to touch.
If you think the Cavalier looks good, wait till you know it can go up to 100,000 miles before its first scheduled tune-up. Chevy Cavalier. The more you know, the better it looks. Genuine Chevrolet.
America Online users. For complete NCAA basketball tournament coverage with live scores and stats, go to keyword CBS Sportsline on America Online.
Craig Kilborn, coming to CBS March 30th.
The 1999 Lexus ES300. With the new, more powerful VVTi V6 engine. Luxury and value are right at home in the fast lane.
Test drive an ES300 today at your Chicago area Lexus dealer.
The corporate thing just didn't work for me. I mean, that's just the politics, but the whole backstabbing, water cooler chit-chat and all that, well, garbage. So one day I'm online and I find Beyond.com. Before you know it, I got a home office and I'm living life on my own terms. With Beyond.com, I can stay at home and order all the software I need for my business, and it can be downloaded or delivered to my door. I'm as free as I want to be.
Oh, hi.
I think it's a great arrangement.
Hello. Welcome to Dodge Durango 101. Today, I'll be covering the 5.2 and 5.9-liter Magnum V8 vis-a-vis Durango's superiority in the class structure of domestic compact sport utility vehicles. You're not listening. You're just staring at the Durango, aren't you? Aren't you? Why do I even bother? I don't know. I'm just standing up here like a big doofus.
CBS Sports presents Pennzoil at the half. Sponsored by Pennzoil. Specially formulated for today's stop-and-go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil.
Hi, once again, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel. Welcome to Pennzoil at the half-hour halftime score. The Michigan State Spartans with a 1-point lead, 26-25, joined once again by Clark Kellogg. You know, if you're Tom Izzo, you've got to feel good about your team leading when they're not hitting on all cylinders, and Mateen Cleaves has been close to non-existent in this game.
1 of 9. He scored his only basket on the last-second drive to end the half. And one of the key factors for Oklahoma is they're rebounding the ball with Michigan State. That's a strength of Michigan State. And they're also keeping Mateen Cleaves out of the lane. That's where he's most dangerous, when he can penetrate and pitch. All right.
Meanwhile, the other game going on at this point in East Rutherford, New Jersey, East Regional semifinal between Southwest Missouri State and Duke. The Blue Devils with a 50-39 lead on the Bears at this point. Those are the Southwest Missouri State cheerleaders looking for the upset. In transition, Elton Brand inside for 2, and more Brand here.
He's just going to carve out space on the weak side. Shot blocked, and Elton Brand using all 260 pounds to get the putback.
Southwest Missouri State answers Bettenhausen to a driving Scott Brakeville. South Missouri State cuts the lead to 3.
And there's Trajan Langdon. He doesn't need much time or space, knocking down the 3.
Duke with a 50-39 lead on Southwest Missouri State. They are in commercial right now, or timeout. We're in commercial. When we come back, we'll take you there live. Don't go away.
Just don't mix. Like drinking and driving.
I never dreamed until I started gambling that I would be so grabbed by it.
I wasn't really thinking at the time. I looked at it as an opportunity to pick up, some money. And I guess at the time, you're not really looking at the consequences. The worst time is just seeing my mom's face and the hurt that I brought to her.
And you think to yourself, how did I get into this and how am I going to get out of this? It's a pretty desperate feeling.
At Daytona, Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt battle to the bitter end. Now these Winston Cup warriors get primed for CBS's next race, the Prime Star 500.
Welcome back, everyone. They're coming up on 15 minutes to play in the second half in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Duke in the lead. Let's send you there live and join Vern Lundquist and Al McGuire.
Just under 15 minutes remaining in this one. Here's Brakeville, air ball, William Avery. Duke up by 9 at the break. They got out by as many as 13 here in the second half.
SMS has to go to Kevin Olt. They got to go get him, put him back in the ball game. Got to get in the. Here he comes now. They got to get him back in the ball game.
Trajan Langdon now has 20 points, including 4 3-pointers tonight, and this equals the largest Duke lead of the evening. The top-seeded Blue Devils facing the 12th-seeded Southwest Missouri State Bears. Deepest trip into the tournament in the history of Southwest Missouri State, the school out of Springfield. Danny Moore, guarded by Burgess, the double team from Battier. He has had those kind of difficulties throughout.
Well, they're double teaming him when he gets the ball down low, and the guys are double team. That time Battier came over. They're both tall. When they put their hands up, it's hard for Moore to fan the ball out to the spots. Now Alt's back in. They've got to get Alt out of the blocks if they expect to win this ball game. He has to bury some threes.
Kevin Alt, their best shooter. Now Matt Reeder is going to come on, number 50, and he will replace Brakebill. And McGetty is on along with Nate James for the Blue Devils of Duke. Phillips from the corner. Cast another three.
Whoa, is he hot? He's smoking.
Alan Phillips off the bench. 13 points now has really helped the Southwest Missouri cause. McGetty, no. Brand. And a foul is going to be called on Southwest Missouri State.
Too much hands that time by, is it Ruder? Is that the way you pronounce his name?
Reeder.
Reeder.
But I'll take Ruder.
No, Reeder. Oh, by the right name. Reeder, I'm sorry.
Tomato.
Yep. He's kind of neutralized and has a solid body, can push and shove. They don't look for him to score offensively.
Foul was on Phillips. Here's James.
James wants to go one-on-one. It wasn't there.
Knocked out of bounds, touched last by Southwest Missouri State. And Kevin Alt got poked in the eye. 52-42 the score, just under 14 remaining. And Duke hitting 52%. That matches their field goal percentage average for the year.
Why the percentage is so high, they have so many putbacks down low, like they're going to get right now, most likely. You know, he kicks it back out.
McGetty short.
So at halftime, it was a 9-point lead. They lead it by 10. Duke 52 and Southwest Missouri State 42. Want to remind you, coming up next on CBS Sports, more regional semifinals. About 9:55 Eastern Time. 10th seed Purdue against 6th seed Temple in the East. At about 10:15 in the Midwest, 10th seed Miami against 3rd seed and defending champion Kentucky Wildcats. We will send you to St. Louis for the second half of the game between Michigan State and Oklahoma. It's a 1-point Spartan lead. A.J. Granger with a game-high 10 points. 2 of them coming up here on the putback of a Mateen-Cleaves miss for the Spartans.
Pennzoil at the half has been sponsored by Pennzoil, specially formulated for today's stop-and-go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil.
The address is CBS.
Welcome home!
The label on our wines is an artistic composition of yellow, red, and blue, to which the critics have added just a touch of gold. Meridian Vineyard Chardonnay, a work of art.
It's green.
Green.
The all-new Volkswagen Golf. It's smarter looking, at least.
Need a lift.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Sack of 10, please. Want one?
Thanks.
Okay. You can let me off here.
White Castle, what you crave. Pick up a sack of 10 White Castle burgers for just $4.20.
This piece of art recently sold for $53 million. You can have this one for around $10. And it comes with this award-winning Chardonnay. Meridian Vineyards, a work of art.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Oldsmobile, AT&T Personal Network, Charles Schwab, and by Dell.
A.J. Granger with 10 to lead the Spartans. Michael Johnson's 8 tops the Sooners, a 1-point Michigan State lead.
Pepsi One presents the Virtual Playbook.
Jim, we're going to see what happens when the backside of his zone comes up too strong, leaving a big hole in the corner. Watch what happens right here. Bell will go ahead and roll to the corner against this matchup. The backside goes for it, comes up to the top. As Bell goes through, the ball is rotated. Once it's rotated, Bell will have a wide open shot from the corner. We'll see it right here. He takes through, the backside comes up, leaving a wide open hole. Michigan State wisely rotates the ball down to Bell. Bell takes the jumper over the zone before it can react. We'll see it in real life. There's the ball rotated. Too late for Nahara, and he went for the fake up to the top, leaving the corner jump shot open for Bell.
That was the only shot, though, for Bell in the first half. And now Bonnie with Kelvin Sampson.
All right, Kelvin, for a team that will launch 20-some-odd three-pointers a game, we haven't seen too many shots from long range. Is that by design, or is that Michigan State's defense?
Well, we feel like we can win the game playing our game. I mean, all year long, Bonnie, we've been good at taking what you give us. If you don't give us the three, then we have other things we can do. Right now, defensive transition and defensive rebounding. If we do those two things good, then we'll be okay.
Players have done a good job keeping it close. Good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thank you.
Jim?
All right, the second half underway. Again, in that first half, we had 12 lead changes and 5 ties.
Well, Jim, to me, the whole story of that first half was A.J. Granger. He had 10 points, 4 for 4. He had 4 rebounds.
And there's Bell's second shot of the game, and he's knocked them both down now, Billy.
You bring a guy off the bench that scores 10 of 26 points, and it's not Peterson. You've got a big lift there if you're Michigan State.
That's the largest lead of the game for State. 4-point lead. Oklahoma's largest lead was 4, so it's been tight the whole way.
Now we have that matchup, Smith on Nahara again. See if he can pump fake in, put the ball on the floor, and go by. He tries it. Doesn't work. They'd be smart to go to him.
3 on the shot clock.
Boy,
Johnson must force one up. Not in time. Not in time. Made the shot, but too late.
Jim, I fault Martin on that. He's the second leading scorer on this basketball team. He's got the ball with 6 seconds and gives it up without making an offensive maneuver to the basket.
6th turnover for the Sooners. Cleves made only 1 shot from the field in the first half.
I wonder if he was told to put the ball on the floor and start penetrating into the middle a little bit more.
Cleves.
There he goes.
Driving. That's going to count. Now, during the warm-ups, Cleves got a lot of encouragement coming from the stands from Irvin Johnson, who was trying to catch his eye. It was just fascinating to watch him, Billy. He was waiting and waiting for Cleves to look his way, and finally, when he caught a glance, Magic told him to flick it a little bit more.
Yeah, follow through with that lead finger right towards the basket. He's evidently telling him he's not following through completely. You know, Magic was not a great shooter in college, but he became a tremendous shooter working hard on it later.
And Humphrey reaches in. You go back to that basket by Mateen before the half. 7 unanswered points. And Magic smiling a little bit more, too. I'm sure that's the other thing you'd like to see from Cleves.
You know, speaking of Magic when he was in college, he was a power forward in that matchup zone, but what he was so great at is grabbing defensive rebounds and immediately turning them into fast break.
Smith.
Good job by Humphrey altering that shot. There haven't been many college players that could grab defensive rebounds, put the ball on the floor, and then take it down the court and make a play with it, and he certainly was the best I've ever seen on being able to do that.
Irvin Johnson had 8 triple-doubles in his career, just a 2-year run at Michigan State, ending with the championship in 1979.
And his last triple-double was against Penn in the semifinals of the Final Four.
Oklahoma's gone cold now, and Michigan State looking to add to its largest lead. And a foul as Hudson went up for the layup.
Cleves always speeds off the dribble with his right hand. Hudson, knowing that, running down the court. There's that bounce pass. He does so well. Probably a pretty good foul by Martin.
Excellent pass by that young man.
Well, Jim, you remember that pass we saw in the Big Ten Championship when he had the perfect angle to Smith on a play similar to that, not quite as perfect, but he can thread it.
One more for Hudson. That one spins out. Spartans trying to notch a 32nd win on the season, which would match the Big Ten record for most wins by a team. Now, don't be deceived. That team went 32-0. That was Indiana 1976.
Well, they already are in a position, Jim, where they've got the best 2-year record. Remember that Indiana team in the Big Ten went undefeated 2 years in a row. Michigan State now has the second best 2-year run. Spalding in the first half beat some people off the dribble. Good help by Bell. That was a great defensive play on his part.
Johnson trying to get it back for Oklahoma. And look at this play. Bell just tosses it up and over the Oklahoma players to get the steal complete for the Spartans. And that's a block foul called on Heskett of Oklahoma.
We're going to see Bell, who double-teamed down at Nahara, and that's what created all of this. And then Bell realizing, if I can just lob it over the top, almost like you're feeding the post on a lob, because he had 2 tall men on the other side of the defenders from Oklahoma.
I always tell you, when you're being pressed or double-teamed, go over the top. But not usually when you're lying down on your back. Cleaves at the line, he'll shoot 2. Now, as much as he struggles as a shooter from the field, he was the best free throw shooter in Big Ten play this year. Made over 87% of his free throws. How do you figure that?
Well, it doesn't make a lot of sense, Jim, except his technique is very unusual. He holds the ball down underneath the ball, and then he shoots it with his right hand pronating out to a severe right angle. So, you know, maybe the shorter the shot, the better off he is. It's a very unusual technique he has for shooting.
Humphrey jumper. Oklahoma needs to knock one down here soon.
I don't think Oklahoma is matching up very well, getting the right guys taking shots.
And a steal by Humphrey. Sooners have not scored here in the second half. We're 3.5 minutes into it.
Heskett hadn't been able to get anything going at all. Spalding has been covered well by Bell.
Nahara driving on Smith.
Beautiful.
Yep. He challenged the man with the 3 fouls.
Jim, there is the matchup that they've got. If they just get Nahara out there, because Smith is on him, and he can't handle him when he puts the ball on the floor.
Those were Oklahoma's first points of the second half after giving up the first 6.
And you know how he doesn't want to reach in there and pick up another foul. Solid pick and roll coming up here.
Jason Klein bounces it inside, and it's stripped away.
Smart play by Humphrey. Recognized the play in the set and was waiting for the pass.
It's almost been mistake-free for State tonight. That's just their 4th turnover, but they've committed 2 on their last 2 trips. Johnson jumper, and here comes Oklahoma. That was a 2.
Humphrey's down, so they've got the numbers. This Michigan State Cleve's usually pretty good in this case.
No whistle. Cleves will take the jumper.
Remember Magic's follow through? Cleves didn't listen to him. Dropped the hands right down to his waist.
Kelly, Peterson, and Granger about to come back for Michigan State. And a 3rd straight turnover trip.
Now that Nahara is really quick. Came right over the top, and Smith is really good at holding position. But he couldn't do it because of his speed.
Nahara with Klein on him. Tough shot. Long board to Smith.
Boy, it looks like Mateen wants to push the ball down the floor now.
Hudson and Humphrey made the most out of that foul. And that's his 3rd.
Well, Humphrey is got 118 career blocks. Pretty good timing on his part right here, but there's Cleves who can really thread it with those passes. Humphrey almost came up with another block there.
He's 3rd all time at Oklahoma, and he's only a sophomore. A couple of distinguished names ahead of him on that list for school record blocks. Stacey King and Wayman Tisdale 1 and 2. Now Hudson at the line, Billy. Tonight 0 for 4 from the free throw line. He's an 80% shooter on the season. Rinzai Stone for Oklahoma. And the three aforementioned subs, Peterson, their leading scorer back end, Kelly and Granger, who's the top scorer tonight. We'll have to check in if Hudson makes the second one. He has to wait for a moment.
A little water down on the floor, and it ought to be coming from Nahara and Smith, standing next to each other, getting ready to bang a little bit. Jimmy, you mentioned Wayman Tisdale. What an incredible 3-year run he had at Oklahoma. First ever freshman picked for first-team consensus All-American.
Well, we've got the official timeout, the first official whistle under 16, and it's Michigan State by 5.
If this is you, communications has finally caught up with the way you live. Introducing AT&T Personal Network. All the ways you want to communicate in one network. Long distance, calling card, even wireless. It doesn't matter, because now they're at the same low rate of just 10 cents a minute, plus internet access. So call 1-800-4ATT now, or visit our website, AT&T Personal Network. 10 cents a minute, no matter how you call. Call 1-800-4ATT now.
If you're not in it, you're behind it. Intrigue by Oldsmobile.
Before we put you under, I just want you to know that I'll be prepping you for your eye lift and lip augmentation. Dr. Frank will be in charge of giving you that perfect nose you've always wanted.
My broker recommended it to me at 76. It's down to 52. I think I've lost almost as much as he's made.
Don't you wish everybody used Charles Schwab? With financial help that has to do with your goals, not our investment specialist's commission, because they're not on commission. Schwab, ready to move up?
Security breach, sir. Somehow Johnson's had a pizza delivered. A delivery boy just waltzed in here?
Fancy crust, toppings? Looks that way, sir.
Find him, now!
The Rising Crust Pizza that bakes up fresh like pizzeria pizza. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Here, taste. A message to control freaks everywhere. Your car is ready. Intrigue by Oldsmobile.
Tonight, great men dress alike when Tom Hanks visits Dave. Plus, Scott Weiland and The Late Show Man on Fire. Tonight on The Late Show.
Michigan State beating Oklahoma 34-29 here at the Trans World Dome. And with me, I have Judd Heathcote, longtime coaching legend at Michigan State. And you must be kind of torn, being that you kind of trained Kelvin Sampson and Tom as Izzo, both of these coaches.
Well, not really torn, Bonnie, because my heart is with Michigan State, and yet I respect the job that Kelvin has done at Washington State, at Oklahoma. I've watched his career with great interest, but Tom Izzo is my main man.
Well, at least we know where your heart is, Judd. Thanks, Jim.
Everybody's got to have a man, and Tom Izzo is his. He lobbied hard for Izzo for that head coaching position. So we come out of the break with Michigan State increasing that 1-point halftime lead to 5. And Mateen Cleave starting to warm up a little bit, directing that Spartan attack. Meanwhile, Eric Martin, who just missed, is 0 for 5 for the night. And here comes Michigan State with Kelly. And that should be offensive basket interference. It is.
Absolutely, Jim. And, you know, I would say that Oklahoma would know what offensive basket interference is. The Arizona game. And we'll see the ball is still, without question, on the rim. Smith comes and touches it.
Was it going to go down anyway on its own here, you think?
It wouldn't make any difference.
But had he not touched?
No, I don't know. I think it was right on the way to come out as opposed to going in. But in any case, obviously, the right call.
Michigan State scored the first 6 points of the second half to hold its largest lead of the game at 7. Sooners came back to trim it to 3, and now they're trying to cut into that 5-point deficit. 10 on the shot clock. Johnson drives off the glass, and Granger pulls it away.
Terrific job by Granger because he had the quicker man coming right at him.
The lob to Peterson too high. The number 1 seed against the 13 seed. Although the Sooners did not believe they deserved anything in that territory or in that neighborhood, they were presumably the last team in the field of 64. The at-large with the worst seeding in the tournament, the Oklahoma Sooners. They've won 2 games, their first 2 wins in the tournament since back in 1990. That had been the last time they'd won a tournament game.
Jim, this is a strange game in the fact that the guys that should be contributing are not. Martin, particularly for Oklahoma, he has not been involved in the offense whatsoever. You have a guy like Granger coming off the bench, saving Michigan State, and I don't think either team has made very good decisions, particularly here in the second half. When they have a matchup that they can take advantage of, they're not doing it.
Cleaves out and Doug Davis in.
And 3-point shooting, which is what got Oklahoma here, almost non-existent here tonight. They were 2 for 7 at halftime. Now they're 2 for 8.
Johnson finds a seam, and he was hacked on the outside by Kelly. Now Martin has been held scoreless for Oklahoma. A.J. Granger has really led the way coming in off the bench for Michigan State.
This game is not going by form at all. Statistically, Oklahoma doing a decent job on the boards, not shooting from the outside. Michigan State not getting the points where they normally would get them from, and still in the lead.
That last foul was on Davis, not on Kelly.
It's the matchup zone now again.
Here's Martin. He had been 10 out of 17 from 3 in the tournament, but not tonight. Hasn't made a shot from the floor.
And here's the only guy that's been doing it with the clock against him. Heskett's going to have to put something up.
3 on the shot clock. Heskett forces it, and Smith pulls it away. Davis wants to run, but no Spartans with him.
Again, poor decision-making on that possession by Oklahoma. It's amazing they're staying this close.
Oklahoma with only 4 points in the first 7.5 minutes of this half.
Peterson loves that shot.
Peterson knocks it down.
He loves that maneuver. Coming off the curl, he squares up beautifully. Kelvin Sampson recognizing his team a little trouble right here.
That was Michigan State's first field goal in over 6 minutes. Well, the Sooners, we said they had struggled in the tournament in the 90s trying to find a win before this year, but look back at '88, the national semifinals. Billy Tubbs in Oklahoma against Lute Olson in Arizona.
Now, that was the last time they faced the #1 seed, too, and they were also a #1 seed in that game. And, Jim, we certainly remember what happened the next game for them, going up against Kansas, a team they had beaten twice in the regular season. We all thought they'd run Kansas off the court, but surely Larry Brown would play a slow-paced game to score 50-50 at halftime, and I said, no way Kansas can win this game, and sure enough, it was their day in Kansas City.
It was Stacey King in that game we saw against Arizona a moment ago who led them to the final, only to lose that championship game to the Jayhawks.
Mookie Blaylock, great backcourt combination. Ricky Grace.
Here he is, Martin.
Boy, he cannot get it anywhere near the basket tonight. It's amazing how in 1 week so much can change. A guy that was just drilling it last week.
And that is on Humphrey, and that's number 4.
Now, Martin in the 2 NCAA tournament games, 4 for 8 from 3 and 6 for 9 from 3, and can't make anything tonight.
The 1 seed by 7.
It's a tough world. Now there's one exciting car actually designed to take it. The Pontiac Grand Am. With its solid form design, it's the most solid Grand Am ever built. Excitement, well built Grand Am by Pontiac.
As an architect, I think if it can be imagined, it can be built. Dell has the same philosophy, only they didn't just imagine what we needed, they found out. Before they built our servers and workstations and had them installed, they came to see us around the world. Dell pioneered this direct way. They aren't selling me a box, they're selling a smarter way.
Be direct. Dell. Dell workstations use Intel Pentium 3 processors.
Every 10 seconds or so, a stop sign goes up somewhere in America. And every 30 seconds, a traffic light goes up. It's as hard on your car as it is on you. It's stop and go. Stop and go. Stop and go driving. Use Pennzoil. Formulated for today's stop and go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil.
In 1948, who could have imagined the rage over TV, let alone a PC? FYI, Kemper did. And those who followed our long-term investment discipline found a new world of financial discovery, like Kemper Technology Fund, where $10,000 invested in 1948 would have tuned you into $6.1 million last December. Ask your financial advisor about the thinking behind every Kemper fund. Long-term investing in a short-term world.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Kemper Funds and by the United States Air Force.
As goes the rebounding, the scoring too. Early, Oklahoma had a 9-rebound edge on Michigan State, but that's changed now. 27-23 advantage rebounding-wise for Michigan State.
Well, Jim, only 2 teams all year long out-rebounded Michigan State. So it shows you how good they have been on the boards.
And off the bench, too, Billy.
Yeah.
You know, that's such a key part of their success.
And it's not that they're that big a team. They're just fundamentally sound on the boards, and Smith usually takes up so much room. Can you imagine Oklahoma had Smith with 3 fouls, and they haven't taken advantage of that at all the second half? And he's such a key inside.
Smith with Stone behind him. 5 on the shot clock. Kelly, he can shoot it.
Yes, he can. Good penetration.
Spalding clears it for Oklahoma.
Now, Spalding made some good penetrating moves in the first half. Let's see, here's the matchup again. They've got Smith on Nahara. Nahara has got to make him work defensively.
4 minutes without a point by the Sooners.
There's another mismatch. And Peterson not quick enough. Let's see if Johnson doesn't take advantage of it. It's kind of amazing. That's really hurting Oklahoma.
Spalding steps up, 1 dribble, unable to deliver. Again, 4 points in the half for Oklahoma, and we're over 9 minutes into play in this half. And there's a bump called on Johnson. The Academic All-Stars recognize 1 player on each team for academic excellence. For tonight's game, the All-Stars are Rinzai Stone, history major at Oklahoma, Andre Hudson, accounting major in his 2nd year for Michigan State. That's the 16th foul on Oklahoma, so we'll be into the 1-and-1 on the next one. Cleaves has returned. Granger trying to get it to him, and Cleaves is going to be called for it.
Yeah, he's just too strong out there and almost tore Johnson's arm off.
We've had 5 ties, 12 lead changes in this game, and right now Michigan State is sitting on its largest lead of 7.
But Jim, you look at this Michigan State team, only Cleaves plays over 30 minutes a game. For Oklahoma, they're in a situation where 2 fellas play over 35 minutes a game. So I would say right now, if anything, it has to be favoring Michigan State because they've used their bench very well tonight, as usual.
Yeah, their bench has outscored Oklahoma's bench 16-2. Martin goes inside. Stone lost control of it. Turnover.
Another good job by Peterson. Just as Bell doubled down on the inside, Peterson did likewise. Stone just not quick enough to release the ball.
Charlie Bell back, the sophomore from Flint. The all-time high school scorer in the city of Flint. And that's saying a lot. Taking into account the Glenn Rices of the world. Here comes Johnson.
Look at Granger. He's on him.
Granger challenges, and he'll shoot 2.
Really the good play that time for Johnson, with Granger taking a beat on him, would have gone ahead and just put that ball behind his back for the layup. Here we see the steal. Now he realized he doesn't have the big angle. Here comes Granger right there. He knows he's a shot blocker. He's got much more size. The pass was in order here.
2 shots for Johnson. This Oklahoma team, its mantra, we belong here. People making such an issue out of them being the last at-large or the at-large seed with the worst in the tournament. But they, again, if you're just joining us, they really felt they were more like a 7 or 8 seed quality team this year based on their record of being the likes of Arkansas by 30, winning on the road at Missouri and Texas and sweeping Oklahoma State. But that's where they were, and they are now just the 3rd, 13th seed to ever get this far.
Well, Jim, they were 6-2 on the road within the league. So you can, that's some tough places to play in the Big 12. 6-2 is a great accomplishment. Another steal.
And a timeout. They got the timeout when pinned in the corner. And they told us they feel like if we can just get to the last 2 minutes, a possession team like we are, we think we're going to find a way to win.
Well, Johnson wiped out whatever drinking water Michigan State had down in the far corner. You can see this right here. He felt the bench got him, and there goes Aquafina out of business.
And one good kick for good measure. The ball might be a little slippery after that. Saturday on CBS, she's not just another pretty face. When Kelly Hu walks the beat, law enforcement is a beautiful thing. An all-new martial law starring Sammo Hung and Arsenio Hall, Saturday on CBS.
Well, Jim, you made fun of me the other day when I said Arsenio, and you said, are you talking about Arsenio or
You said Arsenio.
That's
why I said
I'm
that.
sorry.
Yeah, you didn't say Arsenio.
I was talking about Harold Arsenio, who had 68 and comes into the second round as the leading scorer in the NCAA tournament, although his team was eliminated. Great job. Oh, look at that solid screen.
What a screen.
2 down.
And we've got, look who's down, too.
Oh, boy.
It's Cleaves and Nahara.
They chin to chin on this.
Nahara is
look,
out.
he's out.
He is out, Billy. He is out cold.
That was chin to chin. You're going to see a crash. Oh!
And I tell you what, Cleaves is down too.
Forehead to right on the chin. Both are down and not moving.
Nahara has not moved. Cleaves is talking.
And now Nahara is
now,
well.
Yeah, he's just barely moving his lips.
Jim, what happened is forehead got right onto chin. You could see that solid screen coming. Now I saw Nahara talking a little bit to the doctors.
Oh.
Wow, what a collision.
And they called the foul, by the way. In all of this, you kind of lost what had happened.
No, it has to be a foul on Cleaves.
And it is on Cleaves.
Because the solid screen was there. You can see how upset the players are now. Mateen is now sitting up.
Coach Sampson walking out now.
Kelvin.
And this is Nahara is right in front of us,
yeah.
and he has not even opened his eyes, and he's bleeding quite a bit.
He's moving his arms and his hands. You can see it was forehead right to the chin. And it looks like maybe they think he has it looks like his jaws is what the doctors are working with right now. But he is moving his legs and his hands and in considerable pain. Kelvin Sampson calling his team back, and Mateen not quite sure where he is.
And they bring out, Avila brings out a medical kit for his colleague, teammate, and compatriot.
And Johnson does not want to leave his teammate, although Kelvin Sampson's calling him over to get his team back over there.
Wow. That's left a lot of people here shaken. And we'll be right back to St. Louis.
A tradition unlike any other. The Masters on CBS.
If you're the kind of person who'd rather tune an engine than eat, who reads a tachometer like a love story, or whom the roar of fully blown horsepower is a lullaby, have we got a machine for you. And in the hands of the right mechanic, it'll blow the doors off anything. Aim high, Air Force.
If you've been thinking about jumping into a rugged new Montana,
I need more room!
now's a really good time.
Never seen a minivan do that before.
it's not really a minivan.
Life was more exciting in Montana. Now jump into a rugged Montana with this limited time offer. But get a move on because the train's leaving the station.
Break through to the new world of Mach 3 from Gillette, the first triple blade shaving system. 3 blades specially positioned to shave progressively closer. You take 1 stroke, it takes 3. So you don't have to shave the same area over and over, which means less irritation. 3 blades, fewer strokes, less irritation. Mach 3 from Gillette.
Hear that? That's music to a man's ears. That's the sound of one friend keeping another friend cold. Thank you, refrigerator.
Why do I rent from Enterprise? Very simple. No stress.
We'll be happy to
They arrange to pick me up free, so I don't have to ask anyone for a ride. See? No stress.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
We are back in St. Louis. Jim Nance, Billy Packer, Bonnie Bernstein, and we've had one of the, well, a gruesome collision here between the star player on each side, Eduardo Nahara from Oklahoma, and Mateen Cleaves of Michigan State. Cleaves is up and seems to be almost back, still shaking it off on the bench. And this was just a moment ago. Nahara.
He got that forehead, Jim, right on his chin. And both went down. You can see this is a clean play. There's a solid screen, and when Mateen turns, there is the solid screen, and it's forehead to chin. Nahara goes right down, grabs his chin. He's getting good medical attention right now. Jim, the last thing I ever saw like this in a basketball court goes back to 1974 when David Thompson was skied for
the game against Pittsburgh.
Yes, skied for revenge. Hey, Nahara's going to get up here.
Yeah, he was starting
as David Thompson eventually did.
And he came back, and I recall went to the hospital, came back in the second half at Reynolds Coliseum.
Sat on the bench, and then of course next week led his team to the national championship. Nahara walking on his own here.
He had his eyes shut until about a minute ago. He'd been whispering to the medical help, and now with Johnson and Coach Sampson.
It's great to see him up there. He took a shot. I'll never forget when David Thompson walked back into that Coliseum that day. He had the bandage on all over the top of his head. He was in a complete daze. It was miraculous. First of all, he came straight down. I'll never forget that. He came straight down over a teammate's back. He was such an incredible leaper, right onto his head.
Nahara still woozy, and we can only wonder if he'll return.
Well, now you have to wonder about the players. Can they refocus back into what they've got to do? Kelvin Sampson edging his guys on the sideline, saying, let's get going. Nahara. Mateen's got an ice pack, and he should have right on his forehead, because that's where that collision took place, forehead to chin.
You know Cleaves will be back. Nahara goes to the end of the Oklahoma bench.
I don't know if he'll be back or not, Jim. There's only 9 minutes and 27 to go.
He's already up and trying to walk around a little bit and jogging a bit. So Cleaves is already anxious to get back.
I think if you got a lead, you leave him on the bench. See what your team can do without him.
And look at Michigan State react with Charlie Bell.
Now, here's where Martin is going to have to pick it up. He has not been a factor in this game. If Oklahoma is going to win this game, Martin is going to have to get untracked. He's been no factor offensively. Putting all the load on Johnson. Nobody else making a play for him.
Team Cleaves is over for a moment talking to Tom Izzo.
And I think Izzo will ignore him as long as he can, as long as his team has a lead.
Davis up ahead to Peterson, dunk time. Michigan State's largest lead of 10.
Michigan State really running off whether it be a missed shot or a turnover. And Oklahoma early was able to negate the rebounding advantage by sending 5 guys to the glass, but that'll hurt them now.
Who will step up in Nahara's absence?
Well, there's only one guy that can do it, Jim. It's got to be Martin. He's done nothing all night.
Spalding, tough shot.
Watch this team run again. If they get this rebound, they've got the numbers.
Traveling on Peterson.
He didn't like the call, thought he was thrown to the floor.
Good lead pass by Doug Davis.
Well, Peterson turns. He's a great finisher. We're talking about a guy that is listed as sixth man, and obviously, because that is what he is, he's the best sixth man in the country, but starts with just about anyone. First team all Big Tenner.
8 minutes to go. Michigan State with a 10-point lead. It was a 1-point lead at halftime. Oklahoma dreadful in the second half.
This looks like what happened to Maryland yesterday. Just completely shut down.
And they've missed their last 7, and there goes the end of that streak with Humphrey converting.
Boy, how about Michigan State pushing the ball down the floor. Davis really doing a nice job.
Granger backing in, tough shot. Humphrey.
But you notice that Oklahoma doesn't push it in the other direction to try to get a cheap shot. Maybe to get the ball down the court so they have a wide open 3.
That last basket by Humphrey for Oklahoma broke nearly an 8-minute drought from the field. And Cleaves is ready to check in. He's at the scorer's table. And so is Antonio Smith.
Jim, that surprised me with a good working margin to take a chance, put him back in.
And up shot with 3 on the shot clock, back to Johnson. And they'll call that one on Davis. Let's go to Bonnie real quick. Bonnie?
All right, Jim, we have medical reports on both Cleaves and Nahara. Cleaves is fine. The doctors checked him for a concussion. He's just got a bump on his chin. He's getting ready to go back in the game. And as far as Nahara is concerned, he does have a concussion, laceration on the chin. He's down for the comeback. Jim?
All right, thank you, Bonnie. Still even painful for Eduardo to even open the eyes.
Oh, yeah. Well, he got the brunt of it because he got hit right square on that chin.
Think about the unselfish play he was making, too, to take that hit just to draw a foul on Cleaves. And a hold on Smith. That will be his 4th.
And there, now it's kind of interesting. Oklahoma goes to somebody to put Smith in trouble foul-wise. Fortunately for Michigan State, Granger's had the fine game. Smith's probably going to come back out. They put Peterson right back out there to check in. Make him play him again. You notice that? He couldn't guard anybody there.
Avila with a nice soft touch and wisely challenging Smith. So it's down to 6 with 6:30 remaining.
When you're Kelvin Sampson, you look back at this tape, say, if we had made better decisions as to who we got the ball to, despite the fact that Martin not having a big game, they could have been in it.
Nahara is being sent to the Oklahoma locker room. Cleaves doubled up. Back out and reset with 10 on the shot clock.
Avila did a good thing. A lot of times big guys will leave the man that's got the shooting, the guard that's got the ball in his hands.
Look at Cleaves. He comes in and buries his first shot.
Has the best looking stroke he had all night.
Nahara exiting. Oklahoma's top scorer and rebounder to the locker room. They're down 8.
Content to go inside. The three-point shooting team has really gone to an inside game.
Martin with 9 on the shot clock.
Young man who has picked the top small forward in junior college basketball. Not doing much offensively.
But Tim Heskett off the bench.
Heskett from South Carolina was spotted by Kelvin Sampson at the AAU tournament.
Cleaves got it over to Smith, and Hudson picks up the loose change.
Too many men on the boards right now with Nahara out of there, Jim.
5 minutes to go.
Good hedge move by Smith.
Will Martin suddenly get hot? Will Humphrey step up? Humphrey rattles one home.
Humphrey's had a good, solid basketball game, defensively and on the boards. and taking the good shots, percentage shots when available.
9 points, 8 rebounds. Duke advancing tonight earlier with a 17-point win. Cleaves whips it over. Hudson to the line. Martin prevented the layup. For those of you expecting to see Temple and Purdue, we're going to be getting you to the start of your game shortly. Look who's jogging back out.
No.
This is shades of David Thompson. This is just like Thompson.
And the doctor grabs a hold of Kelvin.
He's going right to check in.
I've got
He's heading right in.
How tough are these two kids?
And the Kentucky fans behind the Oklahoma bench all stand in admiration.
Unbelievable.
That is a page right out of the David Thompson script.
Well, David did, and he's trying to stretch out, but not doing that very well.
And Willis Reed, too, you know. David Thompson, you were at that game, weren't you, Billy? It was only 25 years ago. You remember it like it was yesterday. Let's see what kind of emotional boost this will be for his team. Ryan Humphrey.
He's just smiling.
Walking off the floor.
Yep.
Hudson. And it's a 7-point lead for State. 4:25 to go. I can't.
I don't think Nahara should be back in the game. I really don't. He's running with what looks like. Oh, he's such a solid screen.
First thing he does is he goes right back to Cleaves. Johnson, and it was Cleaves again. He's trying to pick. Cleaves on the drive. That's a charge.
Well, you talk about some guts now. You know, you just, this is unbelievable. He goes to set another solid screen. Oh, how tough is he?
By the way, that was the 4th on Mateen Cleaves.
Jim, I don't think I've ever seen anything tougher than that in my life. We're not talking about, well, he has no football.
Scoring again.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see if he can make a move. I can't believe he has the balance to be able to even kind of have an idea where the basket is.
Well, for those people who saw the heavyweight championship fight the other night, I don't care what Holyfield took in punishment. He wasn't any tougher than what this young man's showing.
Outside 3, and that may have partially been blocked by Hudson.
Oh, what a block! That was Bell on a 6'8" forward from behind.
Huge play with 3.5 to go. A chance to cut it to 5, denied.
Bell, all these kids giving it up for everything they've got. Bell with the bad ankle. An incredible play.
Outside Peterson. Nahara battling, and he comes away with the board.
In traffic.
You never believed the kid would be back.
Oh, no.
I mean, like 2 minutes before he was assisted to the locker room. Then he comes jogging out. Spalding on the drive. Puts it up and one.
I tell you, this team is a reflection of Kelvin Sampson's attitude to us yesterday. Remember we talked to him on the sideline? Hey, we belong here. I don't want to hear about 13 seeds, 11 seeds, last team to get in. We played some tough games against some tough people. I got to tell a cute story about him. After, and we'll see this block coming up right here, Jim. Ball goes inside. Humphrey thinks he's got it, and from behind, a guard just stuffs it. But after they lost to Murray State in their own tournament this year, Kelvin was very upset with them. They had the next game coming up is Arkansas, a very difficult opponent. He would not allow his team to use the home team locker room.
Nahara tips it out here, Billy.
He made them dress in the visiting team's locker room for a week.
That was a huge missed opportunity right there for Oklahoma. Could have been down to 3. Cleaves back in with his 4. 3-pointer top of the key. And it's Humphrey with Granger getting him on the arm.
And Nahara was right in that pack going up for that rebound as well.
Well, to finish your story, they ended up winning by 30 against Arkansas.
Yeah, so it was a pretty good strategic move by Kelvin Sampson. Guys, you don't deserve to be in an Oklahoma locker room.
4 on Granger, 4 on Cleaves. And let's check out the CBS Sportsline stat of the game. Bench points. And this really, according to season form, Michigan State with the advantage. Only one bench outperformed them this year. For complete tournament coverage, go to cbs.sportsline.com. Humphrey to the line for a 1-and-1 with a chance to cut it to 3.
But just a 44% free throw shooter.
sails off the front of the rim, and Granger with the rebound. So that's 2 chances now after the Spalding miss on the 3-point attempt. Now point conversion, and Nahara kicked it out. They missed a layup, so they've had some chances.
Jim, how important is it now for Michigan State to have the man that you love to have the ball in his hands down the wire, Cleaves, back in the game?
Officials timeout. Michigan State ball, lead by 5.
Excuse me, number 8 bus go here. About number 9.
Who are you looking at?
Dry cleaners wouldn't take a check again, eh, Nigel?
Use Visa Check Card. It automatically deducts from your checking account everywhere Visa's accepted, so you can get what you need and get on with life.
Don't get me started on stockbrokers. I had one for the better part of 10 years. Let me tell you something. The only one who was broker was me. With Ameritrade, it's so simple. I sit down at my computer. I want to execute a trade. Couple of clicks, trade goes through. $8 a trade. My stockbroker says you're going to hate online trading. You can add that to the long list of things he was wrong about.
Call toll-free 888-537-8320 or visit Ameritrade.com. Ameritrade, the way to trade, period.
Cellular One, clear across America.
Introducing delivery confirmation for priority mail. Now, what's your priority?
After a tough day at work, there's nothing like a good rub down. From your mother, everybody loves Raymond. CBS Monday.
Back in St. Louis, where Michigan State is leading Oklahoma by 5. Now, you might be wondering how it is that Eduardo Nahara can play with a concussion. We told you that the medical report was that he had a concussion. Well, I just spoke with trainer Alex Brown, and he told me what they did on Nahara was called a standardized assessment of a concussion test, a SAC test. What they do, they test the players regularly, and then when something like this happens, they go back and check the score. They test him for things like memory, concentration, recall. For example, for memory, they gave Nahara a list of words, baby, monkey, perfume, and they asked him to repeat it back to them. He was able to complete the test successfully, and that's why Alex Brown told me Nahara is allowed to play. Jim?
Well, he just defies all what we've ever seen, all odds we've been able to stack up against him returning. But he answered the questions, and he's back.
The bottom line to me, Jim, I'm just so thankful that both of those kids were able to get up. I mean, they were down on that floor, and it did not look good. So that's the best thing about it. Game becomes inconsequential when you take in consideration what could have happened there.
That's a collision with 9.5 minutes to go in this game. And they're both back. Cleaves with one on the shot clock blocker, and that'll be a shot clock violation.
Nahara, the man with his hands right up there defensively. Granger, who was outstanding in the first half, 4 for 4, 10 points. Couldn't get it off in time.
All right, they've had 2 attempts at the basket to cut it to 3. Can they cash this time?
Jim, there's Peterson out there.
Humphrey inside, splits the defenders to the line for 2.
The problem is it goes into Humphreys, and he's such a bad free throw shooter. But they've got Peterson on Johnson, and Johnson gives up the ball right away instead of forcing him to guard him. It's one thing to go inside to a good free throw shooter, but if you're going inside late in the game with a man that only shoots 44%, it's going to have and he looks up to the sky with his hands together as if praying for one to go in.
1 of 3 tonight.
It's been short on front of the rim on almost all of them. I think, you know, his shooting style is good enough to be better than that. but he doesn't have confidence in his shot.
And that's a lane violation. It looked like would have not be called. So it's down to 4.
The stroke is there.
Looked like Hudson had moved early into the lane. Down to 4. There had been a 10-point lead for Michigan State.
Smart play by Johnson there, trying to keep the ball out of Cleves' hands. Cleves is so good at coming back to get it. A lot of screening inside.
1:20 to go. The 1 seed being pushed here in the Midwest. Cleves on Johnson, gives it up, and that ball deflected. Did it touch Michigan State?
Hudson's hands.
They're ruling State ball with 5 on the shot clock. And they have to inbound it from the corner.
Yeah, they do.
Now, look at Sampson's reminding his team, D it up here for 5 seconds.
Now you want to keep the ball away from Cleves because he has the ability, if he can catch it, he'll just dribble to the basket with it. Here he goes.
He launches it early, and Spalding with the rebound. Here come the Sooners. 1 minute to play.
Very patient, aren't they, Jim?
They are indeed, but you talk about a courageous comeback attempt. Nala battles in, and that ball last touched by Oklahoma.
That looked like Casey Calvary. Remember last night the way he came in from
Gonzaga?
Yeah, from about 18 feet came in to make that tap in. A sensational play for that exciting win.
So an empty trip for Oklahoma.
And they're picking up.
And they fouled over here on the side to Hudson. Spalding fouls Hudson, who has struggled at the line tonight. He is 4 out of 8.
Humphrey goes over to talk to him and to give him a little maybe advice on free throw shooting, since he's shooting 44%. Now Hudson is a 75% free throw shooter.
But he missed his first 4 tonight.
But Granger, Jim,
then made his last 4, Billy.
Granger is a 56% free throw shooter. I think you got to go on the percentages for the year, not just tonight.
We'll take a timeout here in St. Louis.
Arriving at last from Saturn, the world's first 3-door coupe. Why didn't anyone think of this before?
Through this door is the power to make the internet come to life. Introducing the Pentium 3 processor. Don't just get onto the internet, get into it. Find out how at Intel.com.
I've known this guy 5 minutes. He's already giving me investment advice.
For a recommendation on your portfolio, please press 3.
I'm gonna pay for this.
What was I Should my 401k be all stock? Should my 401k be all cash?
Why didn't they write this last month?
My portfolio should be overweighted in game companies.
Why does this guy think what works for him? It's gonna work for me.
Thank you, Payne Weber.
Nice shot.
You! Give me that import!
Oh, Skunky beer's not for drinking. Brewery Fresh Budweiser is.
Are you sure you're okay?
I've never been better.
The cops of the Turk family all have one thing in common.
He damn near got himself killed.
A love for living on the edge. Turks, all new, CBS Thursday.
Sooners have only 1 timeout remaining. They have the arrow, but they're sending Andre Hudson to the line to shoot 2.
Jim, if I'd have said to Kelvin Sampson before the game, you're only going to be 4 down at this point, and Eric Martin would be 0 for 6 from the floor after his 2 sensational games, 4 of 8 threes against Arizona, 6 of 9 threes against UNC Charlotte for 14 and 18 points. It's kind of miraculous that they've been able to stay in this game.
Maybe he's saving one here for the end, or 2. Hudson, perfect form on that one, and that's 5 straight makes after 4 opening misses tonight.
That's why I'm going to go back to the yearly statistics, Jim. You foul the guy that has the lowest percentage on the year, not on the game, but they've taken Granger out of there now.
Those of you expecting Temple Purdue, it's coming up at the conclusion of this one. We'll be shifting you over there. Okay, down a couple of threes. Let's see if the Sooners can find Martin.
You got to go for 3-point shots now. It's a 2-possession game if you do that.
Here he is, but suddenly a switch off. Smith on him. Martin,
not even close. 0 for 7. I mean, he just has disappeared completely tonight in this ball game.
For Michigan State,
Klein comes back, so does Granger for State.
We're talking a guy made 7 of 8 threes against Arkansas. 5 of 8 threes against Texas Tech. 8 of 10 threes against Nebraska. Tonight cannot find anything.
Spalding will put Peterson back at the free throw line for 2. Coach and Eduardo Nahara.
I think he's asking him if he's feeling okay. There's only 32 seconds to go, but Nahara wants to stay out there. Well, I've never seen anybody any tougher on a basketball court than that.
Gave his team a boost, no doubt. They were able to cut a 10-point deficit down to 4. 32 seconds to go.
Still got to think threes, Jim.
Johnson, man open underneath. Humphrey had it for a moment, and it's Michigan State ball. Starting to pull away now. They'll bring back Granger and Klein. Michigan State about to run that win streak, the school record win streak, to 21 in a row.
Well, this is the region of the conference champions. Michigan State staying alive as one of them. And we'll see another one coming up with Kentucky that won the SEC championship, which they basically owned in the 90s.
Against a team that won the MAC regular season title.
But not the postseason tournament.
And Nahara makes yet another exit after a brief encore where he took the floor.
He is a courageous young guy.
He'll be back next year for the Sooners. And Ryan Humphrey has fouled out for Coach Kelvin Sampson.
And Jim, he will not be an unknown, because when he comes back next year, based on what I have seen of him, I think he will be a highly considered guy for preseason All-American type teams.
And let's not forget about Mateen Cleaves coming back into the game too. He was asking right after that collision that he didn't even know where he was. Where am I?
No. When he first sat up, he had no idea where he was.
2 shots for Cleaves. Reinserted into the game and makes a jumper for the first time on the night.
Well,
Wally Zerbiak waiting for his stage.
Well, it's not really fair. Wally has his dad to teach him shooting while the game's going on. Cleaves has magic. I mean, what kind of professional assistance do you want here? I thought each team was only having a certain number of coaches they can have on their staff.
Martin, first of the night. First of the night. It comes with 15 seconds remaining.
And you know how disappointed he has to be.
Well, he did save one for the end. That was the last time out by Oklahoma. We'll be right back to the Trans World Dome.
With an 83-year truck heritage behind us, we decided to try something a little different.
Hey! You left your wallet on the trunk!
Introducing the 215 horsepower Rally Sport-inspired Isuzu V-Cross. theoretically, still a truck.
Well, there was one year where I almost lost the entire backyard to crabgrass, and I vowed that would never happen again. The following year, I did use turf builder plus halts. It not only got rid of the crabgrass, but it also greened up the lawn and thickened it. I used the cheaper brands, but I didn't have the color that I wanted, and I did have the weeds. Look how thick it is. Look at the color of it. There are no weeds. I take the credit instead of Scott's. I call it Louis Lawn. I'm very proud of the results that I get from Scott's. And there will be no crabgrass.
Good financial decisions require expertise. Life needs flexibility. Success demands leadership. If there's something you want to achieve, the principal has one word of advice. Plan ahead, get ahead. The Principal Financial Group.
What are you trying to tell me? That I can dodge bullets?
When you're ready, you won't have to.
Unbelievable, isn't it? The Matrix, rated R. Starts Wednesday, March 31st.
March Madness is here.
Don't you need a trademark like Dennis Rodman's hair?
And Cosby's got a basketball drone.
How do you feel about wearing a dress?
Cosby, CBS Monday.
Monday on CBS. Here's some March Madness that'll leave you laughing. Catch the show the critics are calling sitcom royalty. Kevin James and Jerry Stiller star in The King of Queens Monday on CBS. Well, it's been a magnificent March run by the Oklahoma Sooners, the last Big 12 team to stand in this tournament. Down 6, 15 seconds to go, state ball.
Again, the foul immediately.
And they'll put Peterson back on the line for 2.
Well, Jim, you know, down 6, if we'd have missed 2 and got 3-point shots.
Martin hits another one, you know, who knows?
Well, Martin, a big friend of a fellow playing in the next game that's had a pretty good March, Scott Padgett, both from Louisville, Kentucky.
Competed against one another in high school.
And talked this week about their experience leading up to this.
2 shots for Mo Peterson, junior from Flint. First team all Big Ten.
And kind of interesting, Peterson and Antonio Smith, after the Big Ten tournament, found a pillow that they both like, and they share it. And they alternate having the pillow each night. One gets it, and then the other one gets a chance. So this is the magic pillow here.
I didn't know you were going to get into pillow talk tonight, Billy. Wow. Okay, Peterson with 11 off the bench. A.J. Granger with 10. Final 9 seconds. Johnson puts up a long one. And last touch by Oklahoma.
And now Kelvin Sampson says no foul, let the game run out.
Michigan State's going to a regional final. They have won 21 in a row. The Michigan State Spartans eliminate Oklahoma 54-46. Michigan State will play Sunday afternoon, 5 o'clock Eastern time, against the winner of the Kentucky-Miami University game coming up next here in St. Louis. The Chevrolet players of the game: Eduardo Najera, 7 points, 7 rebounds, and courage you can't even put a number on. And A.J. Granger for Michigan State. Tommy Izzo and the Spartans are 1 win away from going to the Final Four. Oklahoma was a tough out, but Michigan State eliminates them in the end, 54-46. And right now, let's go back to New York and our man, Greg Gumbel.
All right, Jim, so Michigan State becomes the third #1 seed to move on. 54-46 over Oklahoma, and the Spartans will await the winner of Kentucky against Miami University. Now, earlier today in the East, the top seed in the East, the Duke Blue Devils, 78-61 winners over Southwest Missouri State. They'll play the winner of the Temple-Purdue game on Sunday. Also in the East, Purdue and Temple just tipped off a short while ago. The Owls lead it by a score of 4-3. We'll take you there in just a bit, right after a timeout. And for those of you awaiting Miami against Kentucky, that game will tip off 25 minutes from now. But Purdue and Temple coming up for everyone right after this message and a word from your local station.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by GMC, Conseco, the all-new Top Flight XL 2000, and by Hertz.
It's the difference between making a turn and owning it. GMC Sonoma with the precision suspension for impressive handling, loaded or unloaded, and standard four-wheel ABS. After 98 years of truck advancements, another unexpected turn, a great handling truck. Get your hands on a 99 Sonoma and drive away with 0.9% APR financing. Sonoma by GMC.
Here's some food for thought. A little bit of guidance from the citizenship through Sports Alliance. When you're on the field, keep one thing in check. Be a good sport and focus on respect. Respect? That's right. Ain't it a trip? It's all about teamwork and sportsmanship. When you're on the court, use your intellect and be a good sport. Focus on respect.
I'm LaRon Prophet from the University of Maryland, and I want you to focus on respect.
My dentist says this gum is working, cleaning dirty plaque.
Gets teeth whiter, too.
Whiter teeth, kissable brat. Arm & Hammer gum with baking soda reduces plaque up to 25% and gets teeth whiter.
This gum does it all. I knew that.
Arm & Hammer gum.
Jay's talking to Tom Hanks tonight on CBS.
This portion of NCAA basketball is brought to you by your local Ford store.
It's time to get out and play. Now get $1,000 cash back or 0.9% APR financing on Ford Ranger or 4.9% APR on F-Series. Improve your outside game in a tough Ford truck.
For 0.9 financing or $1,000 cash back on Ranger, visit your local Ford store today.
Who called this meeting? I'm out of here.
Early going in the second semifinal in the East Regional of Continental Arena. Jerron Cornell, 2 3-pointers for the Purdue Boilermakers. They come in as the 10th seed, facing a Temple team that knocked off Cincinnati, the #3 seed in Boston last week. Now Pepe Sanchez in a 6-4 game, the Argentine point guard.
What's very important here to Temple is that their starting center, Barnes, has picked up the second foul. That means he will not play again till the second half.
Basket is good for 3. Karcher gives Temple a 7-6 lead. There's Tony Mayfield. Back it comes. Greg McQuay into the corner for Cardinal. Takes the 3. Cans it. 3 threes for Purdue.
Well, Cardinal can hit the 3 from the corner or the top of the key. The angle, he doesn't bury it so well.
Karcher at the other end off the front rim. Rebound. Jerron Cornell. Here's Mayfield. Dishes back nicely to Jerron Cornell.
The way to beat Temple is to get down there before they set up their zone. Here's a fast break. The numbers are perfect. There's no possible way they can defend against it. Nice kickoff. Finished.
Foul is on Karcher, his second. That's going to send Jerron Cornell, number 22, to the line for the old-fashioned three-point play. He's got 2 threes from downtown already. Rebound, Karcher for Temple. Now Sanchez, picked up by Tony Mayfield. Ryan Brokenborough, one of the seniors for the Temple Owls.
Lyde and McQuay having a wrestling match underneath. Lyde's body, as I said earlier, is just too big for McQuay. If you get Lyde the ball, he's going to a putback.
That one turned over. 11-7 in the early going. Turnovers even at 4-4. Cornell with 6 points in the early going out.
That last turnover created John Shaney to loosen his tie. Once he loosens his tie, now the next time problem comes in about 5-6 minutes to take off his jacket. But the tie is now loosened. Here's a nice turnover. The numbers aren't there. Have to reset.
Karcher off the dribble. Cameron Stevens is on the floor, and he picks him up defensively. Now Lyde kicks it out to Brokenborough. Sanchez. Penetration kick out. Karcher in and out. Rebound. Lyde. He's got a strong start in this game.
Big body. Not only his size, it's the size of his body. There's a little bit of jarring inside there, which will create a technical foul or a foul each way. But Lyde ends up getting this rebound. Once he gets it in there, that's all she wrote. She's just too big for McQuay, which I said 2-3 times already. I won't say it again.
No, you can say it again.
I'm not going to say it till the second half.
You have an open forum.
Well, what's happening here is that this game could become a very, very physical game. The refs have to keep it under control.
Quincy Wadley, who was the star of last weekend's victory over Cincinnati, is on the floor. Lamont Barnes, as Al said, sits with 2 fouls. And a technical foul was called on Jerron Cornell.
And mainly now Gene Katie is starting to blow up over there. He's very upset. And we got ourselves an early argument. There's a lot of tension on these coaches. Both these coaches, what they really want is the opportunity to go against Duke. The dream of the biggest upset. The biggest upset. The one that had the better chance, I would think, would be Temple because of their zone, and Mike Krzyzewski does not have enough time to prepare for Temple's zone.
Kevin Lyde, I don't think that's how he intended to shoot that throw.
I can't believe it. I thought the backboard should have broke.
I don't think that was plan A, Al.
Off the backboard.
Gene Katie still with a look of disbelief after the technical foul call.
Plus, it's a 2-shot foul here. Plus, they get the ball out. So you can look at here, a lot of points if they make the foul shots. You could possibly get a 6 or 5-point run here.
Sanchez shoots one more. There goes Katie's jacket.
Katie's jacket came off first. It's not too long before John. Katie's a competitor. Anytime you play him in anything, he's a competitor. He'll rally this team.
Sanchez gets 2. The technical foul was called on Jerron Cornell, number 22, lower right.
Now what happened there is Wadley pushed his old teammate, then the action started after it.
That's set to 5 on the floor now for Temple. Sanchez, the point guard, number 4. Karcher. Here's Brokenborough, the senior.
We could possibly be looking at a 5 or 6 points this time down court. They got 3 already, and they now got, nope.
A foul called on Cornell.
I think that might have been, I'm not sure. It wasn't on Eldridge. I think Eldridge was being physically aggressive. No, I was wrong?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Well, thank you.
Like I said, you have an open forum.
It's funny how a coach, that's the way you can see from here, coaches coach from the floor.
Right.
And all my life, I was 25 years a coach. I started at Dartmouth. They won't tell anybody because they're ashamed of some of the things I say. then 7 years at Belmont Abbey College and 13 at Marquette University.
Coming up, the Midwest Regional Semifinal. That tip at 10:26, Miami of Ohio. Wally Serbiak, technical foul called on Katie.
Now we have a possibility of maybe 7 or 8 points, this time down over the 10-second line. This could be a possible record. Settle down, Gene. Don't get any more technicals. Don't get put out. Settle down, Gene, baby. Settle down, baby. John will have his moment a little bit later. John Chaney. As I said, the tie's loosened, but his jacket isn't off yet. These are two warriors. They've been around for 25, 30 years as leaders.
More than 1,000 victories between the two, in and out for Broken Barrel. Katie up, urging his team on.
Now for 2 shots now. This is a 2-shot foul because it's a technical on the coach or the bench. I'm not sure. Pepe was a great soccer player down in Argentina.
And he shoots one more.
One thing about foreign players, they can shoot 3 points and they can also shoot from the foul line. They're not much for driving. Now, how many points do I have now? Temple could score 8 points on this trip if they get a basket, or 3-pointer, or 2-pointer, it'd be 7 points. They put them right back in the game, and they gave them a 4-point lead. I think a referee's timeout would be proper now to settle everybody down.
Well, it's been a 7-0 run with no time expired. Technical foul on Cornell, technical foul on Gene Katie. Now Karcher. A 15-11 Temple lead. Karcher drives over Cardinal. There you go.
Oh, that ball came down wet. That ball was way up there.
6-point Temple lead. Eldridge, Tony Mayfield, as we said, wearing 25 tonight instead of number 20 because he left his jersey in his hotel room.
Get the ball to Cornell, move without the ball. They're in their zone, move without the ball, move the ball quickly, and you get a good shot. 12 on the shot clock. There it is if he wants it. Hold on.
Wadley. Now Karcher.
Good decision that time by Karcher not to shoot.
17-11 with 12 to go.
I hammer it down low. Duke has gone now to a zone.
Broken Barrel for 3.
Excuse me, Purdue.
20-second timeout, Boilermakers. Katie still filled with fury.
Well, watch Karcher put so much height in this because Brian Cardinal is up there in the 6'7", 8". He had to shoot over his raised arm.
A 13-0 Temple run helped in no small measure by technical fouls. One called on Jerron Cornell, the other on Gene Katie.
What happens now, good timeout by Gene Katie. Now you got to pay attention a little bit right now, Gene, to coaching. They need you right now. Get them back in the ball game. You're not down that far. You're only down 9. What you need is a score. So get the ball into the hands of the guys that can score. Cornell and Cardinal.
When was the last time you saw 13 unanswered in 3/4 of a minute? Underneath, Cardinal, strong move, got it.
Get the ball to Cardinal. He gets all these floor burns. He's the guy that really leads them indirectly with hustle. He is not a dirty player. He's a hard player.
Cardinal puts the plug in a 13-point run by Temple. Here's Sanchez. He's guarded by Mayfield. Over to Broken Barrel. Cornell out on him. They look inside for Lyde. Karcher defended by Cardinal.
Nice solid movement. Got to look for a shot now. Otherwise, we'll have to put up a Hail Mary. It's down to 5.
Drive by Sanchez. The dish.
Oh, nice dish. Sanchez Pepe was coming down the left side and seen Lyde free underneath on the right side.
Lyde perfect from the field, 4 for 4. The freshman from Washington, D.C. This one out of bounds.
What Temple does with their zone, they block your eyes so you can't pass, and they double team you.
Sanchez from Bahia Blanca, Argentina.
Used to be the harder the ball, the farther it went. Not anymore. This is the new Top Flight XL 2000. It's got titanium in the cover for explosive distance. On an average par 4, that's 10 yards longer from tee to green. Thing is, the XL 2000 has an amazing soft feel. Softness you can feel and hear. Close to the green? How about close to the pin? The all-new Top Flight XL 2000. Explosive distance, amazing soft feel. It's the best XL I've ever played.
A professional doesn't depend upon the easy way out. He depends upon his equipment. That's why professionals have been driving GMC for nearly a century. Like this GMC Jimmy with a full-length steel frame. So it has the backbone to give you comfort and support, even when the pavement doesn't.
Right now, buy a 99 Jimmy and get 2.9% APR financing.
The Jimmy looks pretty good, too. But then a true professional always knows how to dress well. Jimmy by GMC. Backbone standard.
$90,000 United employees are doing what they can to make air travel better. Rising is performance.
You can't start the day without absolutely pure Tropicana Pure Premium.
What about the moon? I'm working on it.
These two private eyes have what it takes to be heroes. Maybe it's because they learned from the best, Chuck Norris. All new Sons of Thunder, CBS Saturday.
Duke won earlier. They're in the Sunday regional final here. Temple or Purdue will advance to meet the Blue Devils. Sunday at 2:40 earlier. Strong second half for the Blue Devils. They win at 78-61. Trajan Langdon complemented his 24 points with 8 rebounds. And 21 Duke's second chance points in that game for Southwest Missouri State's 6.
Trajan wants to get to the Final Four. He's never been there, and he's a fifth-year senior. Well, obviously one of the better shooters in the country.
And Al, you said this matchup zone would give Duke as more problems than what Temple presents.
If Temple can score on the offensive end, and what happens with this zone, Duke doesn't have time to practice against it. He only got one day. Big barrier by Cornell. That's his third 3.
And it cuts the margin to 6. Cornell with 11 early points now for the Boilermakers. 22-16.
Of course, they're here scouting today, the 3 assistants tonight. So is Mike Krzyzewski. But they don't know which team's going to win. So they got to figure which team, whatever team wins, then tomorrow they're going to take their team and teach them into breaking down the 1-3-1 matchup zone.
Is there any sleep tonight for the winning coaches?
Not for the head coaches. Ooh, Pepe, baby!
You approve?
Wow, he doesn't shoot that often.
Bueno. At the other end, Purdue answers.